The views expressed on the previous
don't be
programs
picking on
are those of the
Payrod
hosts,
now.
guests, and callers, and do not reflect those of the
Poor
BC
Payrod.
Broadcast Group, its staff, advertisers, or
Why didn't you just take all that money and disappear? Take all the money and go away.
560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
I get roids just thinking about these people. George is here today. He wasn't going to be, but surprise. George is here today. How do you like that?
I don't know. I'm kind of ambivalent about it myself.
Well, we're delighted to have you.
The Neil Rogers Show.
Until the hate emails start coming.
560 in Dade and Broward. In other counties, call toll-free.
Oh, we were looking forward to hearing Flea today. Don't tell me we got that George.
AT&T and Verizon wireless phones.
Already got one of those.
Expressed by Neil, his guests, or his
They didn't know you were going to be here, but they'll follow up.
WQAM
I'm sure.
Staff or sponsors. Now the Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM.
Crawford, Texas is a place to be, and brush clearing is the life for me. Under the Secret Service watchful eye, keep DC, just give me that Starfield sky.
No, Dallas is where I'd rather be. Redecorated, serving tea. A posh new neighborhood would be my pick. Georgia, I love you, but I'm not living in the sticks.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
It's not fair.
You are my wife.
I hate ranch life, Dallas.
Texas, we are there.
10:01 at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday, February the 9th. Boy, thank goodness this is a short month, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but thank the Lord. Thank God.
Oh, God.
It's a short month. Now, let's see. This is 2009, so it's certainly not a leap year.
Right.
Well, we get all confused on those. You know, what's ends in an even number? It's like, oh, is this last year was a leap year, right?
Right.
Well, 2009 ain't no leap year, and either is next year or whatever. Here's the poll from Friday. Which of these would a real man never do? Oh, and some of these, cosmetic surgery, 209. I wonder if Debbie knows about that. You know Debbie?
No. Oh, Debbie.
Hello, this is Debbie. Watch soap operas 145. Well, I don't watch them anymore, so I'm on the way to becoming a real man, I guess. I haven't had any cosmetic surgery.
Baby steps. We'll have you cupping a boobie in no time.
Wear Crocs 135. I don't wear Crocs.
See?
But now we get to use body wash 56. That is so stupid, man. Those 56 people who voted for that ought to be horsewhipped.
Right. Especially now they have that really macho body wash like Axe.
Oh, they've had those from the beginning, since body wash came out. Old Spice for people who want to smell like old musty mothballs. What?
Like old men?
Yeah, like old musty old men. Use a body wash. Give me a break. Soap. Soap went out with knickers. What's with you people? Slow. Cry at a movie, 52. Order a daiquiri, 39. Pay for sex, 36. Rollerblade, 28. Take dance lessons, 24. Drive a Prius, 22. Yeah, but if you take dance lessons, then you could be on that dance show. Dancing with the Stars with Payrod. Drive a Prius, 22. Wear flip-flops, 21. And eat quiche, 14. Wow. See, I never understood that. Well, what is it about quiche that makes you not a real man?
I don't know. They had that book, didn't they? Real Men Don't Eat Quiche. It was a joke
yeah,
book
but I mean,
or something.
Somebody makes that up and right away people buy into it?
How about don't eat quiche because it's really yucky?
Yeah, that's a much better reason because it tastes like crap.
Yeah, it's mushy.
Moosh. We don't like mushy foods on this show, okay? I'll tell you what else I don't like, and that is these goofballs across the street who think that they're going to sucker me into getting into a big thing with them. I don't care about them, okay? 790, as far as I'm concerned, was WNWS. That's a long time ago, many, many years and moons ago. The crap that they got on there now, Dennis Collins being the loser that he is, it's crap. And I got an email here. I'll just read the first paragraph, and I'm not going to read all the rest because I'm not getting suckered into their intrafraternal problems, whatever the hell they are. Hello, Neil. I'm a somewhat disgruntled employee of 790, so as a former release and revenge, I will update you on goings-on here across the street. Mainly because you'll put these things on the air and actually embarrass the people I want to be embarrassed. No, actually, I won't. Believe me, everyone here listens to you as long as they don't admit it in public. Your rating shows are piped in without any hesitation, and then it goes on and on about some problem they had with some sponsor and yada yada, which I don't care. Little birdie at 790, it says. Well, great. Send me some spy reports on something that somebody might care about, because this one, we absolutely don't care. I know it comes as a shock to our middle and upper level management people that we don't care on this show about 790. We don't care. They're not. They don't even exist. We're not running the same format. They can talk about all the balls and ball games they want, and it's got nothing to do with us. Right?
Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. So thank you so much for your very boring spy report. Terminal. Ponderous. We all listen as if that's a shock, as if I don't know that. Obsessed. You don't just listen, you're obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed with...
Oh, God.
Right. Sorry I can't share the obsession. I don't really care about those people. You can't complain about the numbers because except for Lebeturd, they haven't got any. So what are they talking numbers for?
I don't know.
They keep trying to talk themselves into some kind of a standing in the marketplace, in the business, and they don't have it. You can't have any kind of a standing if you don't have any audience. Just ask us, we'll tell you. How come I don't hear, I don't know, I'm not hearing really like...
Like what?
Myself. Well, there you go, a little bit better. It seems like the level...
You got control
Is it
over
me?
that. No, well, you're cranked up as much as I can crank you in here.
What is it? And
nothing.
Well, what does that mean?
Nothing. That means you can turn your own monitor up. That's all you can do.
I just did.
Good.
Don't start giving me like little mini lectures here on how to run the board.
Oh, I would never think.
How to run this equipment. You've never even seen the studio, much less been in it.
No.
So I'm the only one who knows how to run these machines, man. What addiction is the most destructive? We did not put crystal meth on there, which I had a couple of emails saying, oh, you left the meth.
Yeah, and should I?
Too late now. Well,
Okay.
I mean, if you want to, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to leave this thing up here, you know. It all depends.
I just put meth on there.
You put it on there?
Yeah.
Why, ever done it? What addiction is the most destructive? You don't have to answer that. That was
No,
just
the
a
answer is
rhetorical
no.
question.
The answer is no.
Oh. Crack cocaine, 116. Heroin, shot up, 110. Cigarettes, 99. Alcohol, 46. I voted for sugar, 42 votes. It just is, you can't get off of it, man. It just,
I voted for that because it's the only one that has taken people out near and dear to me.
An abusive mate, 21. Huffing, aerosol, Freon, etc., 13. Freon? People huff Freon?
They do.
I never heard of that. Huffing and puffing and blow the house down. Compulsive spending, 11. Gambling, 11. Oh, no. You got to find you a good machine, man. OxyContin, 10. Oxys, that reminds me of a big fat tub of turd that is on the radio. Speed, 9. Powdered cocaine, 9. Video games, 7. Heroin smoked, 5, as opposed to shot up. OCD rituals, hand washing, checking the house, etc., 4. Ether, 3. Morphine, 3. Cutting, 2. Cutting what?
Yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like, what movie was that in? Well, first of all, what's his name? Matt Damon did it in Talented Mr. Ripley. Remember he had that razor blade in his bathrobe?
Right.
When Marge came to the door? And the blood, he had a white bathrobe, and the blood was kind of like conspicuous on the bathrobe, but nevertheless. Cutting, 2. Dieting, 2. Who was the other one that did the cutting thing? Was that the bitch in Rebecca De Mornay? What was the movie?
The Hand That Rocks the Canadle?
Right. Wasn't she cutting? She was real cut up.
I only saw that one time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good flick. I like that.
It is. It's just fine.
Dieting, 2. Glue, 2. Binge dieting, 2. Meth, 1. And codeine, 1. Codeine. Well, I'll be damned. Still playing that show intro to call Neil? Yeah, go ahead, call. It doesn't mean we're going to talk to you. We play the show intro, and if you want to call, go ahead.
Right.
If I want to take the calls, I will, and if not, I won't. That's the way it works. Oh, here we go. Roger Schmendrick says the most destructive addiction, the Neil Rogers Show. Oh, God.
Wow.
How sad. How sad and how butt-licking and how idiotic. How about our great governor billing the taxpayers $425,000 in private plane trips? Way to go, Charlie Crist, it says. Oh, this is my financial guy again. I'm faxing you a bunch of pages. You need to sign them and send it back by regular mail. I'm about to be great. Oh. Here they are right here, as a matter of fact. Should I read them? Enclosed are 3 pages need to be sent back to me by mail. You need to write your driver's license on page 1. What are these? I don't know. I just trust this guy, and you know what happens when you trust people with your money? A fool and his money are soon farted. Isn't that what they say?
They do say that.
So 540 votes on that poll. It's okay. It's all right. What's that schedule look like for today? I'm sure that everybody's on the edge of their seats waiting. We got Big O at 2 o'clock, Mad Dog 4 to 7, Dolphins tonight 7 to 8, and then the DA show 8 to 11. Pretty pristine schedule. Nobody's out and about. We got no ball games today. They had the Pro Bowl last night. I watched about 40 seconds of that. No, maybe 20 seconds. The Pro Bowl. Oh, how ponderous. I mean, you talk about anticlimactic. Why do they even play those stupid games like the NHL All-Star Game, the Major League Baseball, all those non-binding, they're like exhibition contests. I mean, they play exhibition games in sports to get teams ready for the regular season, right? Yes. But then when the season's over, just get rid of it already. That's it. Say goodbye till next year. Bye-bye. No, we have to have the Pro Bowl and the all this other crap. Aren't you tired of crap?
Oh, please.
If there's one thing, let me tell you right now, their life is too full of. It's crap. Oh, God. I'm so tired of crap. Speaking of crap, Ann Coulter is now the subject of a formal probe by Connecticut's Election Enforcement Commission, moving her closer to being charged with fraud.
All right. Oh,
bitch, skanky, scabby, hateful sow. Mm-hmm. The commission is now conducting a thorough investigation of whether the prolific conservative pundit... Oh, by the way, there's no such word as pundits. There's no second N in pundit. If there's a word that's mispronounced more than let me ask you a question, it's pundit. Pundit, not pundit. Yeah, you notice even these supposed...
sit there with a notebook and write down all the things that they say wrong, like on during newscasts and things. They throw the language right out the window.
Yeah, idiots. A-holes. Thorough investigation of whether the prolific conservative pundit broke the law earlier this decade by voting in Connecticut while living in New York City. A spokeswoman for the commission told the New York Daily News. The media-centric publishing powerhouse voted in Connecticut in 2002 and 2004, even though she was living in New York City. In fact, Coulter bought a posh $1.49 million condo on the Upper East Side during that period, according to the Daily News. Miserable bitch. But Coulter claimed on voting for him she lived with her parents in Connecticut at the same time, Ross Story reported in January. Connecticut officials are responding to a formal complaint filed by conservative CoulterWatch.com blogger Dan Borchers. For over 10 years, Ann Coulter has gotten away with illegal, immoral, and unethical behavior, ranging from plagiarism to defamation, perjury to voter fraud, Borchers has claimed. She declined to comment. Connecticut State Attorney Theodore Bromley told a private investigator last month a Connecticut voter must list a residence address in the state where you actually live. It's not enough to claim a relative's house where you may visit. Bitch. And remember when she had the same thing in West Palm Beach? She had the same thing, lying about where her official residence was and voting where she wasn't supposed to vote, and yada yada. Typical phony, right-wing, self-hating sow.
Oh, Neil.
Yeah. Neil, God.
Obama man, he's the one who said yes we can. Bringing hope, bringing change. Big old ears, kind of strange. He's here. He is Obama man. Is he cool? Listen, dude. When he speaks, he's really smooth. They say he'll save the day, and he shoots the outside J. Hey, look, there goes Obama man. The economy is a mess, and folks feel real depressed. Yes, the world is a wreck, but we love his hot pecs. Obama man, charismatic Obama man. He's the new president. I hope we don't regret, because everything is all messed up. We hope he doesn't screw up. He is Obama man.
10:18 at 560 WQAM. Here's a really caustic email. Boy, it just wounds me to the quick when I read these. From Golden Boy 954. Mm-hmm. I love it how you're now finally admitting that Le Bastard is all they got at 790. Finally. How long have I been saying that? Ever since the numbers started coming out and he kicked our ass in the afternoon every time. Finally admitting. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the rest of the day when they got like shares and numbers that begin with a 1 like in the morning, you know that that's all they got. You know that Le Bastard would whip your ass if he was up against you. Oh, jeez. Oh, no, please.
Are you threatening me?
You scared?
Oh, boy.
Are you scared?
I'm scared. I'm scared of everybody. I'm scared of Rush. I'm scared of everybody. Not just with the younger demo, which is a given, but even the old farts who listen to your show by rote, like whoever wrote this. A habit they developed from when you still did a decent show would abandon your sinking ship like rats if Le Bastard was on at the same time. Oh, yeah, just like Sid the Kid, the new meat on the block. He was going to come in and whip everybody's ass. He was going to kick my ass. Then they put him on in the morning, which was an even bigger mistake, and he's got 1 shares. Oh, my God. Let me say it again. You people over there across the street, keep talking and keep losing. And then all of a sudden when they pull the plug and decide that they've had enough losing, good luck to you, because you'll need it. God. Talk yourself into success. Kenny Rogers says you got to know when to hold 'em, when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Do either of you want to buy my Alex Rodriguez rookie cards? Thanks and happy friggin' Monday from Kenny Rogers. The Kenny Rogers. I'm not sure. Is that the one that got canned across the street, or is that the singer?
I don't know.
With the lousy chicken.
Must be that. The chicken was pretty good.
Kenny Rogers Roasters. Never tried it.
It was all right.
Hey, Neil and George, happy Monday. Do you got a couple more days before I get out of South Florida for a week? We're off to George's favorite place, Mexico. Believe me, it's much needed. I think meth is really the most destructive. I thank Neil God I didn't grow up on the West Coast where it originated from. Having done ecstasy and other designer drugs in my youth, I'm sure I might have said yes to some of that stuff, too. I've seen before and after pics of people on meth, and believe me, nothing compares to the brutality of the transformation you go through with that drug. Anyway, it would make my week to hear the High Loibus song. H-Y High Lolibus song. Talk to you guys soon, CT. Well, what's High Lolibus? Do you know what that is?
No.
I have no idea what that is. Oh, and here's Golden Boy back again. Oh, and by the way, just keep going to play those mind-numbing slots for the 20 hours a day you're off the air. It's a good way to take your mind off the fact that your show and your life have become a miserable failure. Oh, yeah. Wow. Keep them coming. We got a new one. Although I got a better one than that in my pile here. I'll get to it. A fake religion one. Okay. I got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, my life is so bad. I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? All these anonymous a-holes out there. Brandon, conversely, he actually likes the show. First, he says cosmetic surgery. If you continue to get surgeries, you're asking for trouble at some point because one of them will most likely go bad. Then he says, I don't comment too often on the actual show, but I've noticed lately both you and George seem to be on your A game these days. I know it's hard to be on your A game when you have the station on your back telling you you'll no longer be getting the money you would like, or in George's case, actually need. However, the shows have been pretty good lately, says Brandon. How do you like that?
Thank you, Brandon.
Brandon's happy as opposed to Golden Boy across the street. Oh, we're going to whip your ass. You're done. Your life is so bad. Yeah, you should have my life.
I'll say this about Brandon. With all due disrespect to Josh Cordes, when Brandon writes an email, it's usually contributing something.
Yes. That's why I read them all.
Right.
Because he contributes something to the show as opposed to...
You read them all whether they do or don't.
Here's bad news for George.
Oh, no.
Cannabis linked to testicular cancer.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well.
The soaring rate of testicular cancer in the UK and other Western countries is linked today to the increased popularity of cannabis. Testicular cancer has more than doubled over the past 30 years, and the rise parallels the use of cannabis, Britain's most popular illegal drug. Researchers in the U.S. have found that men who regularly smoke cannabis have a 70% increased risk of testicular cancer, cancer of the nuts.
Oh, no.
The risk was highest twice of that who never used the drug, and those who smoked at least once a week or had a long history of use beginning in adolescence. George.
Yeah.
The study is based on findings from 369 men with testicular cancer who were questioned about their history of cannabis use. The results were compared with 979 men who did not have cancer. Cannabis was linked with Testicular cancer independently of smoking, drinking, and family history. Let me just say this. If you want to make a lot of those sound effects, go ahead.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
It's a good thing I don't need them anymore.
Experts from Cancer Research UK said it was the first time a link had been suggested and the size of the study was small, and so were the testicles. More than 3 million people smoke cannabis. Only a tiny portion develop the cancer, so don't get all bent out of shape. Wow. There were 2,109 cases of testicular cancer in Britain in 2005, 78 deaths. In 1975, there were 850 cases. Unlike other cancers, it's most common in young men with a peak incidence between the ages of 20 and 40. So maybe you're out of the woods. Or maybe you're just out in the woods. Oh, I sure hope we get a lot of emails from Golden Boy, who's obviously got his thing beard, his teeth beard. His thing beard. Nope, not another one yet, but I'm sure. Uncle Neil, did you watch 60 Minutes last night? No, I did not.
Me either.
And it goes on about Katie Couric sucks, which we know that. George did a poll when he was filling in a while back. Who would you most like to grudge F? Katie would be the top of my list. Oh, yeah, grudge F.
That wasn't the poll. Hate F is what I said.
Well,
she qualifies.
Okay, that's from Douche Nozzle Chris. That's not really worth reading the whole thing. Oh, sitting on a bench in Del Rey might be the right name. What was the other thing he said?
I don't know. That was not even close.
No, it was, I don't know. I have no idea what it was, and quite frankly, could care much less. Come on, Golden Boy, get your teeth going.
My wife took the car to the mall. She drives my Buick and she's 3 feet tall. I wouldn't ride with her, no way. I said I'd meet her there later today. So I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey, waiting for the lolly bus to take me away. Oi, I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey with my friend Chaim. Looks like it's time to check my change, 'cause the bus fares don't always stay the same. I'm not gonna do what Yenna tells me to do. To drive at her rate, she must be insane. Just sitting here resting my bones, wondering why my wife won't leave me alone. We've talked it over, but I never win. I just wind up schlepping through the mall again. Oi, so I sit on a bench in Del Rey, waiting for the lolly bus to take me away. Oi, I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey with my friend Chaim. And there he is. It's about damn time. I've been waiting here all damn day on this bench. Where the hell have you been? Hey, where the hell are you going? Come back, you schmuck.
Oh, Neil. You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go again.
On South Florida's Sports.
Yeah.
All right.
M-O-N-D-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S. Obamas went to Washington, were met by friends and cronies. Oh, yes, there were some protesters, but who needs their baloney? Dad will deal with the Middle East and try to fix the economy while kids mess up the Oval Office. Oprah talks with Mommy.
All right, 10:31. Boy, they're really whipped up to a frenzy this morning, man. For a Monday, they're just all over the place on those emails.
Oh, they're pent up over the weekend.
Some real crazy. And by the way, you can send the same hate mail 100 times, and I can delete it in like 3 seconds.
They've had to go 2 entire days without being able to reach out to you.
Well, screw that.
2 days in a row.
Oh, your life is so bad, and you're so miserable. Oh, yeah.
Jealous.
By the way, the sun is shining. I beg your pardon?
These people wish their life was like yours.
Yeah, well, screw them. Up theirs. And by the way, I won a lot of money this weekend at Woodbine. Oh, no, not those evil slot machines, man. Yeah. In fact, I probably won more this weekend than most of you make in 3 weeks. But that's beside the point. Me, say, you know me from
yes.
the emails?
Yes, I know me.
Neil at neilrogers.com, by the way, is our email address if you want to reach out to us and extend the gland of friendship. Or hostility, whatever you want.
Sure.
We like the hostility. We like the good hate. Bah, bah. Me says, good morning. I don't listen to Talk Sports Radio. Or is that Sports Talk Radio? Well, whichever.
Either one.
I listen to this show hoping to be entertained. Does it really matter that A-Rod took roids back in the day? Who freaking cares? For those of us who try to keep our kids active via sports, this useless news is exactly what it is. Keep attempting to entertain us. We really need some kind of humor these days. So we'll keep attempting to entertain you. We're trying over here, okay, as opposed to...
I'm dying over here.
We're trying to amuse and entertain. Even though, of course, we ain't no Dan Le Batard. We ain't no Kenny Rogers and his Roasters, whatever the hell they got going. We're great. We're great. Just believe us. We're great. It's like Gildy, you know. He's a broadcaster. Oh, this is a good one from Doug. One item not on your list of addictions, religion. Addiction is religion. Oh, you know who the one is who's sending me the that Julio guy, that kid?
Oh, yeah.
You've got, what's his name?
I don't know. I know who you're talking about, though.
You know the one I'm talking about. When he gets spastic, man, he just blasts out with the same a million different times, and I just delete them all.
Bust my balls, too, when I'm on the subject.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
On what subject? Religion?
Religion.
You heathen bastard. You better make your way right with the Lord.
I am right with the Lord.
Anyway, addiction to religion can be just as... Oh, and last night, I made the bad mistake of going to HBO and watching that Ted Haggard thing.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes of swill.
Better you than me.
The whole purpose of it is just to make everybody feel sorry that Reverend Ted, he can't get a job now, and his poor family, and they're living out of people's houses. Too bad. Phony, hypocritical piece of turd, Ted Haggard. Good buddies with Bush and McCain and that whole right-wing crowd. All a bunch of phonies, phony balonies, hypocrites. Toe-tapping Larry Craig and that whole crowd. Wouldn't be surprised to me if they have, like, orgies with Dobson and Falwell with his body. He still might be a little bit warm. Robertson, Jimmy Baker, that whole crowd.
Yep.
Addiction to religion can be just as debilitating and deadly as any of the drugs you've already listed. Just ask the people of Northern Ireland, Kosovo, Afghanistan, Iraq, etc., says Doug. Good point, Doug. Excellent. Here's Jorge, another Jorge. I listen to you and George every day. The show seems to only get better with each day that passes. Oh, yeah. Screw the Beasleys, Joyce, everyone across the street. You guys are awesome. Ask George what he thought of the fake Grammys last night. Did you watch it?
Not a minute of it.
I didn't either.
Not a second.
I didn't watch a moment. Lil Wayne nominated for Album of the Year. What is music coming down to? Keep Rock Alive, signed another George. P.S. My favorite and most influential Neil Rogers sound effect is... Oh, God. Most influential sound effect. Oh, yeah. How can they touch that one? Woo! Can't touch that.
Nope.
Okay, Jim says, I know full building is boring, but I have to say crystal meth would be my vote. Yeah, well, we put it on there. P.S. Jim in Chicago. Not to be confused with the other guy in Chicago. What's his name? Chuck. P.S. I give Sirius until April to survive. Now someone actually wants to buy the thing, and here's the story. The Wall Street Journal reports that Sirius XM chief Mel Karmazin is scrambling to raise about $175 million to fend off a takeover threat from Charlie Ergen's EchoStar Corp. Oh, let's scramble and see if we can't raise $175. Not million, just bucks. Then you could plunge your guts this Friday at Gulfstream. No, you're not going to be there this week.
No.
By the way, the horse that I picked on Friday won by a head. That's 2 winners in 3 weeks, and both of them won by a head.
Nice job.
Yeah. If I do say so myself. Boy, just desperately hanging on. Ergen, ranked by Forbes as the 35th richest man in America, worth $8.1 billion, has been buying up Sirius XM's debt to the tune of $400 million since late summer. Wow. Sirius has been in talks for several weeks with EchoStar, which holds around $400 million of the satellite radio company's debt. People familiar with the matter be saying. EchoStar chairman and CEO Charles Ergen, who is believed to be seeking control of Sirius, has been accumulating Sirius debt since late summer, the People said. EchoStar holds most of the $175 million in Sirius debt expiring in February and owns more than half of a $400 million tranche coming due in December. A tranche. Both stakes were purchased from hedge funds. Sirius's total debt load is $3.25 billion. Sirius did not respond to requests for comment. See, if they had a sense of humor at Sirius, which they obviously don't, that's long gone with all the tourists they got and they're stock down to like 13 cents. If they had a sense of humor, they would have responded and just said...
Loan me $50.
Right? That would have been amusing, but
right.
They didn't say nothing. The Journal describes the process of takeover by acquiring debt as unorthodox strategy and one that could backfire. Karmazin successfully merged Sirius with XM satellite radio in July 2008. Ergen was ranked the number one richest media mogul in Forbes' recent breakdown of billionaires by industry. He's got a lot of money. So why doesn't he just take his money and go have a good time somewhere? That's what I understand, like the thing with Payrod. So he did roids, he didn't do roids. Who gives a crap at this stage? You know, he's full of crap like most people. The Dow's down 35. What a comeback. It was opened down 200 point. Maybe today's a real good buying opportunity, Maria. I'm sure we'll hear some diarrhea from Maria before the day is out. Don't you think?
I hope so.
I guess Golden Boy ran out of material. I was so thrilled with those first two hostile emails, and then that was it. Maybe he's talking to his boyfriends, trying to work up some more new material. For the 19th consecutive year, the mayor of Toronto proclaimed February 6th as Bob Marley Day. It's already gone. I got to do a Joyce during the next break, by the way, so if I'm not back, you'll know.
Good, I'll load something up.
Well, I didn't Joyce this morning. I don't know why. Well, I didn't know you were going to be here today, and then all of a sudden I get a text message from George. I'm here. I'm Joycing.
Sorry to throw you off.
What?
Maybe that was it.
Well, by the time I come in here, I've already done all of my things.
Your dirty business.
Well, why do we care about Bob Marley Day in Toronto, Mon? Why do we care? Mayor David Miller, one of the most boring subhumans on the face of the earth. The politicians here. Knuckleheads. Boring. Devoid of personality. Horrendous. Grotesque. But nevertheless. And then again, our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, he's got a great sense of humor. It's the year of the tiger or something like that, the year of the Chinese New Year, the year of the something. And he said, well, certainly people in business are hoping for a return of the year of the bull. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And people looked at him like, are you effing kidding us? You're an idiot. And, of course, anybody that walks up to Stephen Harper and says, right to his face, you're an idiot, gets an immediate response.
Yes, I am.
Right. Time for a little refreshing honesty from those idiots in politics.
Oh, Neil.
Politics.
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Well, here we go again.
Neil, God.
Woke up this morning with shoes on my feet after another party with AIG. An $85 billion check was cut, and we were having a party with your bailout funds. Having a party with your bailout funds. Yeah, yeah. Having a party with your bailout funds. Yeah, yeah. Thanks to our buddy Marty Sullivan, we're having lots of fun with your bailout funds.
10:45 at 560 WQAM. Imperius says...
Yes?
And Imperius evidently has some grammar problems or typing problems.
Okay.
It says, I sent that because you always talk... I sent what? I sent that because you always talk about how you hate Jamaicans. When did I ever say that?
I don't know.
And we're reading that article last week about how homophobic they are. Yes, I did read that article. But meanwhile, Toronto was infested with hundreds of thousands of them. There are many more there than in South Florida. I don't think there are hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans in Toronto, man. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese-man, yes. Hundreds of thousands of Indians, yes. Hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans, man? I don't think so. I'll look it up, though. I'll Google it. Toronto Jamaican population, you want to Google it?
Okay.
Man?
Yeah, man.
Go ahead. Just keep making crap up. We love it. Just keep stirring the pot. George will smoke it and you steer it. Steer it. Kenny Rogers says, Alex Rodriguez cheated. Like most of America has become accustomed to being okay with doing. George sighed when you read my last email. Some people emailed, said it wasn't a big deal that A-Rod did steroids. Well, it does matter, guys. Doesn't matter to me. I couldn't care what he did.
Not to me.
Because it's all a farce anyway. I mean, they find out that these guys, like Jason Jambi, for example, I mean, he did them and he's still playing, so they don't give a crap, you know. Well, geez.
Oh, I'm crushed on my faith in the game and blah, blah, blah.
Well, let these things pass with slaps on the wrist. Executive privilege is the same thing. America's game, baseball, reflects a carefully kept and numerous set of statistics. Numerous set. Totally unacceptable verbiage there. Numerous set of statistics. The game shows how the smallest statistic matters, and anyone who gets a hit 3 out of 10 times is successful. Wow, that's pretty heavy duty. Even Vesa Toscala would be impressed by that. Please don't just toss aside that people are tainting a pure game. Luke Shen scored his first goal. The rookie! The rookie! What?
Sorry, just go ahead. Tainting a pure game?
Please don't toss aside people are tainting a pure game. Pure my ass. How about spitters and every other kind of cheating that's ever gone on?
How about who gives a rat's ass?
That's right.
What other people are doing.
That's right. Please don't ignore that baseball recodes that its players are becoming worse and worse. Recodes. What does that mean?
I'm sure he meant records.
No, recedes? I don't know what it means. When its participants can't even come close to those such as Ted Williams and Hank Aaron. George, don't sigh. It makes you seem lazy, ignoring the facts. You're lazy, George.
Give a rat's
you
ass.
mother effer. He doesn't care, neither do I. I don't give a crap about
I have a rich
life
of my own.
I love the show, but please, guys, look at the ethic of America. Look at yourselves. Like Howard Beale would say. Go to God. Go to your guru. Go to yourselves.
So you want some
Step it up a bit, would you? The kids are watching. Let's not all crumble to pieces. First of all, the kids aren't watching. It's a radio show, not a TV show. Secondly, the kids are in school right now, okay? So, Kenny, get a hold. I know you got canned across the street, but I don't know which Kenny Rogers that is. Obviously a fake Kenny Rogers.
So you want to know this figure?
Go ahead. The Jamaican population of Toronto?
2001 Canadian census, 3.5% of the population of the city of Toronto is Jamaican-born. And that would be 150,000 Jamaican-born in the metropolitan area.
Wow. 150,000, man. But not hundreds of thousands.
They've got some suburb breakdowns, too. For
really? Like how many in Scarborough?
Scarborough is 9.5% Jamaican.
What'd I tell you, man?
Which is the highest concentration is Ward 1, which is Etobicoke. How do you say that? Etobicoke. 12.7% Jamaican.
Wow. Wow, there are lots and lots of Maicans in Etobicoke.
Yeah, man. They're making more every day.
Yeah, they're Jamaican it up as they go along, like we do. Well, how do you like that? I don't have any problem with Jamaicans as long as they just stay the hell away from me.
I don't have any problem with Jamaicans, period.
In fact, the Jamaican women, that imperious thing of theirs, you know.
They have an imperious thing?
Yeah, they have an imperious altitude. Maybe just at Woodbine they do. Here's one that says, as you were reading the story to George about cannabis use increasing the odds of men getting testicular cancer, I kept thinking of the other bad thing I learned about the wacky weed 20 years ago. In my late 30s, I developed a pretty good set of really embarrassing Bill Parcells-style jiggly breasts, like the ones George is always complaining about, and after several unsuccessful years of dieting and exercise, finally decided to do something more direct about it. I went to a surgical specialist on Long Island who eventually operated on me and removed what he described as a cereal bowl of fat out of each side of my chest. When the doctor was interviewing me before the operation, he asked me no less than 3 times whether I smoked pot. Finally, I said to him, I told you I don't. Why do you keep asking me that? He replied, because you have so little fat on the rest of your body, it looks to me like most likely the cause of your problem. Everyone in this business knows that doing dope is the #1 cause of overstorage of fat in the male breast. Wow. George has got some big boobies, I bet.
Well, they go with my beer belly, so my pot boobs.
I again denied ever using this stuff, and that was the end of the discussion. But every time I hear George complain about he can't take his shirt off in public anymore, I think of the horrible link between man boobs and Mary Jane. I learned about that day.
Looks like we're going to have to switch to pills.
Neil Armstrong. What?
Looks like I'm going to have to switch to pills.
A guy like you can't afford to be doing stuff like that.
Huh? Oh, I don't.
A guy like you that can't afford to be buying a new car, can't afford to feed his family.
Right.
Can't afford to take Joe Bell out for a nice fancy lunch.
I don't buy drugs.
No, they give them to you?
Yeah, everybody does.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Brandon says, me and the girlfriend went to Las Olas Saturday night with a couple of friends to see what was happening. And in the sea of people getting drunk, myself included, was two guys preaching right there. One had a megaphone reciting Bible passages. The other guy was strumming religious music on his guitar. Now, if you want to preach, be my guest, but why the hell there? Oh, well, why not? That's where all the people need to be saved, Brandon. All you heathens getting drunk. Do they really think they're going to convince a drunk 26-year-old that spending my Saturday night in a church will be more fulfilling than going out and having a good time and having great sex afterwards? It's not the first time I find people like that at Las Olas at night. As a matter of fact, it happens quite a bit. Well, Las Olas is where people need to be saved, for crying out loud. Las Olas and South Beach. Go save their souls for Jesus. God. Oh, here we go. Johnny from Oklahoma. Fake Johnny. Fake email. Subject, class homework. Hello, Mr. Rogers. I'm originally from Oklahoma, which you may have deduced from my nickname. Oh, Johnny OK. My name is Johnny. I'm a double majoring in religious studies and psychology at the University of Miami. U of M.
All of these things.
Oh, my God.
I'm writing my paper for my course with Professor David Graff, Ph.D. The premise of my paper is that homosexuals are responsible for the rise of atheism in the modern world. In fact, atheism, in my opinion, is just another way for homosexuals to rebel against their unacceptability in civil society. My paper proposes that most, if not all, atheists don't believe what they say or have secret and frustrated homosexual tendencies. I don't have any secret or frustrated homosexual tendencies. Mine are right out here in the open for you to admire or hate or whatever. I believe that atheism for homosexuals is essentially just a temper tantrum. As I was discussing... Oh, come on, it goes on at great length.
Great.
As I was discussing my paper with my professor last Monday, I expressed my frustration with the lack of public atheist and or homosexual figures for source material. Surprisingly, he mentioned that one of the most notorious atheist homosexuals performed a show every day at a local sports station. To my dismay, I listened to your show last Tuesday, and sure enough, you started your show with a relentless barrage of attacks against religious figures who have been trapped in sex scandals and may have sinned. They may have sinned, but oh God, it was good. I must admit I was shocked that your show would be allowed to be broadcast and much less listened to by any significant number of listeners. But I researched your career, and you appear to have developed a loyal following. I'm not comfortable with your words and descriptions of sex acts, which are pervasive throughout your shows. However, I'm thankful that now you've provided me with great source material for my paper. Good. Good, Johnny. You don't sound like a drug addict or a person of lesser intellectual capabilities, so I'm puzzled at your choice to portray yourself as an atheist and homosexual. I'm not portraying myself. I am both. I am. I don't portray. I am. If you're portraying a character for the show, I must advise you that you should consider your influence in the minds of people who may not know the show is just an act. No, the show is not an act. I hope to continue to correspond with your show throughout this semester, and perhaps if you choose to read my letters, I can provide a counterpoint to the views you express during your shows. Who knows, if I'm blessed, perhaps even make an impact on those who listen to your show and give them a more redemptive and fruitful path. I will also have questions as to your profile in my paper and hope you'll cooperate, please. I don't hate you, Mr. Rogers. It's the Lord who will judge and punish non-believers and deviants. Sincerely, Johnny from Oklahoma. As if I care what you think or who you hate or anything else, Johnny. You're small potatoes. Go back to Oklahoma with or without a banjo on your thing. You know, the one thing about the fake emails is that they're so freaking over the top, so obvious. You know?
Yeah.
Especially after Johnny ZTR came out of the closet last week. That was a real revelation, if you pardon that expression.
Right. Not surprising, though.
What?
Not surprising.
About Johnny ZTR?
Right, that there's one guy writing
fake
under
emails,
a whole bunch of
well,
identities.
it wouldn't be surprising to you because, according to you, they're all.
That's right.
Ross DePaul says, I am Jamaican. I do not hate gays. Gays people are beautiful. All people are beautiful. Weed will cause cancer if abused, man. Balance is the key, you dig? Didn't someone say last week there was a cure for cancer we can all get, says Ross DePaul?
Apricot
seeds. I don't think it's a cure, though. Isn't it supposed to be preventive?
I don't know.
I don't know either. The numbers that George just read are out of date, even though the official numbers below severely undercount the true population. Even the official numbers, oh, I see, here they are. There's an estimated 320,000 expat Jamaicans living in Canada, about 12% of the Jamaican island population. Some 220,000 Jamaicans live in Toronto. There are more Jamaicans per capita living in Canada than in the U.S. or the U.K. Well, how do you like that? I guess that explains it. Doesn't that explain it?
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but, ask Bubba. He'll tell you what it is. What is and what it is. Wow.
This is the Neil Rogers Show.
This is your brain. Any questions?
Hello?
You hear that?
No, I don't.
It's playing.
No, it's not.
It is.
Not.
It's counting down.
Is it on the wrong line?
What do you mean by that?
Are you playing something off the DCS and it's you switched?
No. In fact, let me try it again. Cut number 2. Go ahead. You like that one?
That's something.
Oh, I bet you're wondering how I knew everyone you called since 2002. You're gonna have to face it. You're addicted to oil. I need some soldiers real bad. Where they at? Where they at? We need you in Iraq. Where they at? What I need, I gotta put them in Karbala. What I need, I gotta put them in Basra. What I need, I gotta put them in Baghdad. Increase of troops, gonna make the liberals mad. Hey now, I'm a lame duck, sitting here with no friends. I'm the press with low ratings. A few folks like me, but most hate me. I'm the head of my party, and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You're the Pope, and I'm the Prez. Jenna and Henry, Jenna and Henry go together like Saddam and WMDs. Everybody gonna get a rebate. Spend some dough. You want a pardon, and I'm gonna announce it in the Rose Garden. Crawford, Texas is the place to be, and brush clearing is the life for me. I hope history will be kind to me, 'cause I did it my way.
Well, how do you like that? That was supposed to be cut number 2, and cut number 2 is blank. You think they made a mistake? Let's see what cut number 4 is. Go ahead.
I want my kidney back.
No. They really screwed up bad. But nevertheless, it was well worth waiting for, wasn't it? You know what I'm thinking?
What?
Because I have 7 weeks vacation a year with this really tough schedule I got, plus the summer schedule. And I'm thinking it's already coming up the second week in February. This is the second week in February.
Mm.
It's the 9. So I'm thinking next week, as long as I'm going away for a long weekend, I might as well take a week vacation next week.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Next week?
Let me say it again. Next week. Which part of that did you not understand?
The week part.
Capiche? Next week.
Okay.
I'm already going to be off on Monday.
Yeah.
Which I just decided on my own, because I show up whenever I feel like it.
Right.
And if they don't like it,
fine.
too bad.
All of these
Give them an old
things,
raspberry.
fine.
What do you
That's
think?
fine.
No, I'm just asking, are you up to it?
Yeah. Sure.
Can you handle it?
I can.
See, those of you who knock little George, man, one thing about him, when you need him to be there, he is there. He shows up. And that's because he's a survivalist.
Yeah.
We're survivors on this show, baby. Forget about Survivor Jamaica and Survivor Australia. We're survivors QAM. We survived Jolly Fat Ass Joe. What do you think of that next week?
That's
Then I could actually go somewhere for a few days.
That's just fine.
Would that be fine?
Yes.
Fine as wine?
Yes.
Good. Here's the final poll result. I just changed the poll. Now, you're sure about that? I don't want to make a bunch of plans and then, George has got wild diarrhea on Tuesday. And
well, I might anyway. You
might have wild diarrhea. Make for a hell of a good show.
That's right. What
I just joiced in that 10:40 break.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have even known it. And it was a good, healthy joist, too, by the way, for those who keep track of such things. Like Charlie B. I'll guarantee you Charlie B. keeps track of my bowel movements. That's what a chronic groupie he is. Obsessed. If Neil farts, can you smell it in Alaska? And those are the kind of polls he comes up with lately, which is why we don't use his polls much anymore. Speaking of polls, by the way, we could sure use some on there. I think I accidentally erased about a half a dozen of them. That's bad. And then you're always giving me, look in your deleted. Well, I deleted.
Don't.
Oh, here you go. This is a response to that Johnny, Oklahoma. Dear Oklahoma, you and your greater than thou can F off. Turn your radio to a more suitable program. Better yet, throw it out the window as an instrument of the devil. I've been a listener of Neil since the mid-'80s, and his word is the truth. Just ask Mo. You need to start questioning your beliefs and ask some questions. Just judging Neil puts you in danger of hell. You're a faker following fakers, signed longtime listener, Gregory. Thank you, Gregory. Thanks for your oral support. And then, here's one with a link. I don't click them, I don't look at them, I just delete them. Oh, and Brandon's got a little addendum to us before I read the result of the poll. Now, you're sure about next week now, right?
Positive, man.
Brandon says, how could I forget to tell you about this? I'm not exactly the most religious person on earth, being the good Catholic bisexual that I am. You heathen! You sinner! And I don't end up in church all too often, but Sunday was my mom's birthday, and my parents do go to church. Are they overly religious? Thank God, no. They just make their weekly stop at church. Anyways, I and all my siblings promised we could all get together and go with her and then go out to a nice lunch afterward. So I went. And they were having some drive to collect money as always, but they showed a video from the Archdiocese about the drive, and to my dismay, they're helping to peddle the cause was Tony Cigaretto, helping spread the message of sending in those checks because they need your money bad. And by the way, I did not drop $1 in a basket. Good for you, Brandon. A tisket, a tasket. Keep your goods out of the basket. Good thinking. Oi Schmoy Jew says, I used to eat Mexican food until I found out they were spreading salmonella by taking a daily dump on the veggies they're paid to pick as payback for the crackdown on illegal aliens. So smell that burrito before you chow down. How do you like that? Smell your Mexican. Oi Schmoy says. All right, here's the poll result. Well, that's pretty exciting that I got a week, because I got 7 weeks. I got to spread them out, you know.
Before you go writing it in pen, let me, during this next break, just run across the hall and make sure that Lee is down or that somebody else will be or something.
Oh, I thought you gave me a thumbs up minutes ago.
My own personal thumbs up. Let me go grab Lee's thumb and make sure that his is up.
Yeah, grab Lee's thumb, and if he starts giving any static, just chop it off. Bend it.
Don't cut!
Bend it until it breaks. What addiction is the most destructive? 640 vote. Although before I read the result, here's one in regard. Too bad we couldn't get this on here. Cuban George says, for some, masturbation is very addictive. I know once I discovered my penis, I fell in love. It's kind of been destructive because I don't want to bang my fat wife, and she thinks I'm having an affair. I'm not, but in the traditional way. I just banged her best friend this morning, and boy, it was good, says Cuban George. Isn't that cute?
Very cute.
He banged her best friend. Oh, very sad. 640 votes. Most destructive addiction, crack cocaine, 133. Heroin, shooting up heroin, 128. Cigarettes, faggots, 119. I'm sure that Johnny from Oklahoma would agree that those faggots are destructive. Evil. Alcohol, 57. Sugar, 50. An abusive mate, 22. Gambling, 16. Meth, 15. Huffing, aerosol, freon, etc., 14. How about puffing? Huffing and puffing. Well, puffing is in a couple of other categories on here, right?
Yes. By the way, we're good to go for next week.
Are we? Thanks a lot,
Flea.
Flea. That Flea's a good guy.
And gave us his thumbs up.
And who's going to do the selection for Woodbine? I mean, for Gulfstream. I guess I'll have to send it to you.
You can, if you would be so kind. Otherwise, we'll find another person like...
You'll find another handicrapper. Maybe Flea can do it.
Or Fat Rich. We'll just channel him. I'll get my Ouija board.
Now, why do you say that? He was such a good guy. Do you know that we went to the track for over 20 years?
He was a good guy, and he had a great sense of humor, and he would be laughing from wherever he is right now.
Yeah.
To know that
I'm not like Johnny Dork. I'm not saying, don't pick on the bird. He's dead. Let him rest in peace. I'm not doing that. You can rip Fat Rich all you want. I had the super.
Not ripping him at all. Loved the man.
And then it turned out he didn't have the super because the horse that finished fourth got disqualified. He was pacing through the stretch instead of trotting. It was a trot, and the horse started pacing through the stretch, for which he got DQ'd. Compulsive spending, 11. Oxycontin, 11. Powdered cocaine, 11. Speed, 9. Video games, 9. Religious, 6. Religious?
Did I write religious?
Well, religion. Look, so a typo. Are we going to,
I'm leaving.
Jump all over your ass about that?
Yeah.
We're going to go and rip George an ass because he made a little typo on there?
That's thick as well. Go ahead.
All right, religion. 6. OCD rituals, hand washing, checking the house, etc. 6. Smoking heroin 5. Binge dieting 4. Ether 3. Ether?
Yeah.
People are addicted to ether?
It's an old-fashioned kind of thing, I guess.
Oh, my
Somebody
God.
Still.
What kind of old farts are doing ether? Morphine 3, glue 3, cutting 2, dieting 2, and codeine 1 out of 640. Got a new poll on there for you now to diddle with. And I love this poll. This is great. I forgot who sent this. Somebody different sent this in, which we thank profusely. Paul, I think. The solution to the economic crisis is give the money to Neil so he can double it at Woodbine 7. That's what I voted. In fact, get it over here by 2 o'clock, and I can have a hell of an afternoon if I decide to go. You never know. Oh, your life is so miserable. 20 hours a day at Woodbine. Yeah. Do whatever Obama says, 5. Increase spending in the infrastructure, 5. Cut taxes, 5. Less government involvement, 3. More government involvement, 3. 28. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the trouble we see. Nobody knows like Jesus. Boy, that Jesus, he's a busy guy, you know what?
He gets around.
No wonder he don't got time to go out and buy some new Birkenstocks.
Too busy betting on ball games.
That's true. He's too busy setting the morning line and paying attention to them prayers of all them dumb athletes, you know? Oh, God, that's good. Oh, God, give us strength and let us win. And then, of course, after somebody scores a touchdown, he points up to the sky like, oh, yeah, right up there, man. There's something going on up there.
Anybody have a heart or a liver?
I want my kidney back. Yeah. After you got it, you jumped in the sack. Yeah. Hooked up with someone else behind my back. Yeah. Unfaithful wife, give me my kidney back. Yeah. Now I want it back. Surgery, I gave it to you, my kidney. But this is how you went and repaid me. And now you've broken up our family. Now I want it back. My kidney. Remove it now. Give it to me. Remove it now. You cheated on me. Remove it now. You hurt me. Remove it now. I got you off the waiting list. Remove it now. I'm feeling this. Remove it now. Marriage is through. Remove it now. It's because of you. Remove it now. Give me my kidney. Remove it now. Or give me my knee. Remove it now. Give me my kidney.
You know what I want to play again?
What?
Cut number 2.
Do it.
You hear it?
Go ahead.
It's playing.
Wow. I gotta say, that's the funniest bit this year so far.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I guess this is their new substitute for coming up with something amusing and entertaining and interesting. And
we thought they were faking their way through when they would put old bits on there, ad with
now they come up with a new way of faking it through. Well, nobody's got us beat when it comes to faking our way through. Now, John in Lake Worth says, first of all, let me tell you that Go Ahead Drop is now my favorite. Maybe we'll play it again.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Sorry.
Love the Chris Matthews bits. I've never criticized your show before, and here's why. If you are on, I listen and enjoy it no matter what. If you're not on, I don't listen to the station. End of story. There's such a limited amount of listenable radio nowadays. I'll take your show live no matter what. Hope you're well and will always listen. I turn it on real low when you have a commercial by Joe Rose. Talk about nails on a chalkboard. John in Lake Worth, knocking the big head. How do you like that? Whoa.
Wow.
Maybe Joe screams a little bit too much for John.
Maybe.
He shouts. Rafiq says, on the other hand, thank you for giving me the warning next week that you'll be on vacation and George will take over. I will listen to 790 like a lot of others will be doing too, says Rafiq. But, the interesting part about that is the people like in midday who would listen to 790 are sports nerds.
Yeah. Right.
So what difference does it make whether I'm on or George is on? They will not be listening to 790. But obviously this comes from inside across the street where they're like obsessed with this show. Obsessive. Wow. Sick. Poogan, a.k.a. Vicky. Now, does that ring a bell to you, Poogan?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
Is that some chick that you've fondled and diddled?
No, she's a listener who sends emails every now and again.
Oh. Well, anyway, she says, just moved back to East Lansing and finally got my media player working so I can still listen. Boy, I sure haven't been to East Lansing in a long time. I'd like to go to Cunningham Drugs and see if they still have the soda fountain. Cunningham Drugs. And given the lovely employment situation up here, I should have plenty of time to catch the show. But on the bright side, at least I'm out of South Florida, says Poogan, a.k.a. Vicky. Say hello to George for me. I'll miss seeing him at Galaxy on Thursdays. Oh, she's one of your roller skating
she
ladies.
Went once?
She what?
She went once?
I don't know. What are you asking me? How the hell do I know if she went once? She went once? Is that a question or is that a
that's like,
statement?
I'm not sure. That's a statement that I'm not sure of.
I'll be damned.
Maybe twice. I don't know.
Well, this George sure gets around.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's one that says things are... Oh, it's not even sent to me. I delete those right away. It's something that somebody sent to somebody else, then they forward it to me, or something about Iran. Like, I give a crap about Iran. I don't care about them schmata heads, okay? You got it? I don't give a flying leaping. I'll tell you one thing about, speaking of the ethnic breakdown of this city.
Yeah.
I was thinking this yesterday at Woodbine, and I'm not making this up to be controversial or to be a nudnik, but it's the truth. The fact that this is such a ethnically diverse city gives you the opportunity to learn all kinds of new bigotry.
Right.
You know what I mean by that? I mean, most people wouldn't admit that, but I certainly do.
Well, it's hard to be bigoted against something or someone that you've never encountered in your life.
That's right, but when you're surrounded by, like, smelly old Chinese who never bathe, or when you're surrounded by, well, I don't want to go, like the Indian crowd, Punjab.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that every Indian person here, even little children, drive a taxi, and usually an airport limo? I just don't get it.
I don't know.
Even 5-year-old children are driving airport limos, Punjabi.
Yeah.
All those black limos, 65 votes on the poll. The solution to the economic crisis is give the money to Neil so we can double it at Woodbine, 14. All right, I'll take it. Increase spending and infrastructure, 14. Do whatever Obama says, 12. Cut taxes, 9. Eat the rich, 6. You put that on there.
Yes.
Less government involvement, 5. And more government involvement, 5. Oh, eat the rich. That takes us back to last week in that Hitchcock show about eating people.
Sure, that's a good place to start.
Eating people, baby. Now, what's that one bit that we've got? I don't know what it has to do with eating people.
Hamburgues de boca son hechos de testículos.
What does that have to do with it?
I don't know.
I don't either, but it just seemed to fit in.
It's a Soylent Green spin-off there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you translated for me.
No problem.
Well, I'm sure psyched now. I'm all pumped up about going away next week. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to go, where we're all going to go. Me and Paco and one of his friends. It's always got to be somebody else goes along. It never can be just,
Yep.
Well, it's the way it is. It's a generational thing. He's not going to have any fun going someplace with me. I'll find that casino wherever we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going anywhere where there's no casino because, you know me, I have that compulsive gambling problem.
Right. An issue.
Oh, I'll tell you a movie that you got to see, Owning Mahoney, with Philip Seymour Schwartz, Hoffman Ross. God, is that a good movie? And he says, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a financial, what does he say? Not a losing problem.
Something like that.
No, he doesn't say losing problem. Well, I'll think of it. It's a great line. One of the best characters in that movie is the black bellboy in the casino. Is he in Atlantic City? Yeah, in Atlantic City. And the boss keeps firing him and then hiring him back, and etc.
Oh yeah,
he's a funny guy. Now you know the one I'm talking about, Benny or something like that. Maybe he's doing Benny's. I wonder who's doing Jack Benny's. A lot of rumors about him being
gay,
and of course that was all an act, that whole fake Faye thing of his. Remember Faye Wayne?
No.
How about Faye Emerson?
Who?
Teresa Clark says, hi, I was wondering if Neil still sells Best of Neil CDs. Teresa, the answer very simply is no. I'd like to buy one for me and my grandson, thank you. Well, sorry, Teresa, we haven't done those in a long, long time. Thanks to QAM. If you don't sell it, can your sidekick just send me one for free? Yeah. Your sidekick. If you don't sell it, can your sidekick just send me one for free? I would really love it, and so would my grandson. He loves those songs you play. They are wonderful.
But your BlackBerry can.
Your BlackBerry can what?
Your sidekick can't, but your BlackBerry can.
Oh, that's not even amusing. Now, let's see. What's the new BlackBerry, the Bold?
I don't know.
That's the one I just got for Paco, because what he likes to do is when he throws a temper tantrum is take the old one and heave it against the wall.
I see.
And it works for a day, and then the next day, oh, gee, there's nothing shows up on here. The screen is blank, blah, 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 So I got to go buy another one. I mean, they'll fix it for you, but it takes a long time. You don't have the patience for that.
I understand.
So just smash it against the wall and then deny that you ever threw it in the first place. So I didn't do that. I know. I just dreamed it. So it ought to be a fun week next week. Like I said, maybe I'll stay here. Neil, could you also please tell me something about a parody song you played last week called Playboy Playmates? Is this based on a real song, and do you know the name of it? Thanks a lot, Neil. I did play that last week, now that you mention it, and I don't think I've ever played it in years. I was just going through here, and
people see me in the store. I'm looking for love forevermore.
That's ancient.
And they know that I will succeed.
It's Only Make Believe by Conway Twitty. That's the song, It's Only Make Believe by Conway Twitty. Right? Yes.
Right.
Well, why'd you take so long to...
I was stretching.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Thanks.
So that's it. That's the name of that. But as far as sending you anything, Teresa, forget about it. We don't got it. No gots. Now, we stopped making those because this station didn't really want to put too much effort into that. Anything that requires any energy, any effort, any, work, forget about that. That's not the QAM effing way.
In today's Army, it's about strength. Not just the strength of knowing yourself, but the strength to know when to get over yourself, girlfriend. Not just strength in the uniform, but strength in how you wear it, and if it makes your butt look good. The strength that comes from knowing when to accessorize, and the strength to know when you hear a song with a really good beat, you just gotta dance to it. If your effeminate son wants to join the fiercest fighting force in the world, don't worry. You made him gay. We'll make him Army gay.
You fairy.
Okay, 11:31 at 560 WQAM. And, of course, no matter what I say, it's always wrong. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
That's the emailer's take on his show. No matter what the old man... And, of course, when George says it, wow. Even before you get the words out,
extra
it's wrong.
Right.
Extra wrong?
Mm-hmm.
This one says state of mind with a phone number, not even a fake name. 303. Where's 303 area code?
303?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go look it.
Not 305, 303. Could be a typo, I guess, but I don't think so. 303. No, not even a fake name on
Colorado, Metropolitan Denver.
Colorado. Oh, yeah. Probably Father Ted. Ted Haggard. He's got a lot of time on his hands, among other things. It says, you're always talking about restaurants that are state of the mind, like Joe's or The Forge, but a minute later you go on to talk about how great the food in Roma is. That's right, and you want to know why? Because it is. The concept is exactly the same. It's state of mind. No, it is not state of mind. It is a million times better than anything you'll ever get anyplace else, and if you don't believe me, just ask me and I'll tell you. I've been there many, many times.
About 30, man.
More than that. Nowadays, the exact same ingredients are exported worldwide, and identical dishes can be found around the world prepared in the exact same ovens. Wrong. Wrong, because it's not the exact same chefs and the exact same... It ain't. And how do you export the tomatoes, for example? They ship Roma tomatoes? I mean, they can them.
In a big box.
They can them.
Yeah.
Well, canned, you're going to tell me that canned tomatoes are the same as all the fresh produce they use in Rome?
Exporting the ingredients, I mean, do we even have to go into this?
It says, especially in Miami, which in the past 10 years has become the second largest Italian expat community. Not that there isn't a lot of great food in Rome, and probably more of it there than anywhere else, but pretty much anything there can be had elsewhere. Well, guess what? Wrong, wrong, wrong. So where's 303 area code, Colorado?
Denver.
So why some jerkball in Denver sending me a thing about how great the food in Miami is? Just keep peddling me Miami, okay? Oh, my God, it's great. It's great. I can't wait. It's great. Not that there aren't some really good restaurants in town, but it's just, this business about everything I say is wrong and everything you know. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. Bah, bah, you made a mistake. Bah. As the emails continue to be a potpourri of mung, slime slung at the computer. Oh, here's one that says, I remember Faye Emerson. She was the Cockamoon lady. No, she was not. No. I can't imagine she's still among the ranks of the living. What?
No, Faye Winters was the Cockamoon lady.
That was her name?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Faye Emerson was an old-time singer from 100 years ago who I'm sure is dead. I think you should add this choice to the pool. Give the money to George so he can get his family, feed his family, get a new car, and buy some good Jamaican weed, man. Signed, another Jorge. P.S. You should watch Slumdog Millionaire. Saw it this past weekend. The movie is great. Do not watch the HBO Ted Haggard special. It's a waste of 40 minutes and a desperate attempt to get you to feel so sorry for Reverend Ted, Father Ted, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
God. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said God. Another faker, man. Another faker getting caught with his pantaloonies down. With a guy. Oh, and the guy, by the way, is so ugly. Oh. It would be one thing might feel a little sympathy if he at least had good taste, but this guy that gave him the massage, this male hustler, ugly as the day is long, with a complexion like Ray Liotta on a bad day. Ugly. But Anthony says, oh, here we go. This is the one I was referring to at the beginning of the show when we found out that you were going to be on today, not Flea. But George and Flea will be on all next week, so maybe Flea will get you to shut up.
Okay.
And just have Flea talk to make Anthony happy.
Sure.
Because he says, hey, Neil, I heard Flea a couple of weeks ago, thought he was great, a real talent. I'm looking forward to hearing him next Monday. He should get his own show. I love the show, Neil, the fake Jeff Rimmer.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? I'm looking forward to hearing him next Monday. With me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Next Monday was there. Well, you know what? You're going to hear George and Flea all week next week.
Right.
Signed the fake Jeff Rimmer.
You'll hear Flea on Friday with you.
This Friday. That's right. Correct. George ain't going to be here Friday. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Mix and match. Hey, if the sports nerds can do it, then we can do it. Guess who died, by the way?
Who died?
Blossom Dearie.
Who?
You never heard of Blossom Dearie? I mean, I at least heard the name. Blossom Dearie dies at 82, jazz and cabaret singer. Blossom Dearie, the singer and songwriter whose sweet soprano voice, harmonically innovative piano stylings, and sophisticated performances made her a popular attraction in jazz and cabaret for nearly half a century, has died. She was 82. She wasn't just a singer, she was a great pianist. Dearie died Saturday morning at her home in New York City. Her manager, Donald Schaefer, told the Times, I wonder whatever happened to Dave Schaefer from CKLW. I bet he's dead. He was my favorite DJ on CKLW, Dave Schaefer. And you want to know why?
Why?
Because he was Jewish. No, I don't know why. I liked him. He was funny. I don't know how you could be funny within the context of that format, because you couldn't say much. CKLW, but he was good. He said she'd been in failing health for several years and died of natural causes. I also like Don Z from WXYZ. Don Z with a real deep voice. Critic Leonard Feather once described Blossom Dearie as chic, sleek, and squeaky clean. A voice in a million. And while she was clearly classified as a jazz vocalist, she found that description incomplete. I don't want to be called a jazz singer, she told Feather some years ago. What kind of a name is that, Feather?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what kind of name it is.
Yay.
Oh, yeah. Though I certainly have some roots there. I'm not a cult singer either, and after being called a legend, that sounds too much like an epitaph. I think of myself as a songwriter-singer. All the great Broadway and Hollywood teams are in my repertoire, along with contemporary people like Dave Fishberg. Writers bring their songs to me because they rely on me to define their work with respect. I like Dave Fishberg already because he's Jewish. I wonder how many Jewish jockeys there are besides David Cohen. Marguerite Blossom Dearie was born in East Germany. Well, we don't care about all that. In the 1970s, she lent her voice to the children's educational program Schoolhouse Road on songs including Mother Necessity, Figure Eight, and Unpack Your Adjectives. Wow. She was also known for performing several songs by Fishberg, including Peel Me a Grape, I'm Hip, and My Attorney Bernie. Peel Me a Grape. Wow. How do you like that? You ever hear something like that, Peel Me a Grape?
No.
What kind of people peel grapes anyway?
I don't know.
Crazy ones?
I imagine.
Phil Beckman sends me a copy of the 1968 survey from WYND in Sarasota, where I worked for 2 weeks for Buddy Bud Paxton, who never paid me for those 2 weeks, the grave robber that he was and is. WYND, dial 1280 Sarasota, Florida. The Fast 45 for the week beginning January 20th, 1968. Sunshine of Your Love was number one. Not that I want to go through this list. The only thing that's interesting is the top cat picks of the week. Butch Luke. These are the DJs. Butch Luke, Glenn Hill, The Bird, Bobby J, and Johnny Dark picked Everything That Touches You by The Association. The Bird picked Hanging From Your Lovin' Tree by Jimmy Ford. Never heard of either one of those. Well, maybe Everything That Touches You. Top cat pick album, Hugh Masekela, Alive and Well to Whiskey. Remember Hugh Masekela?
No.
You know? You're not missing nothing. Fire by Jimi Hendrix was number 7 that week. My Baby Must Be a Magician by the Marvelettes was number 9. I never heard of that. How's it possible there was a Motown song, especially by the Marvelettes? I never heard of that. Did you ever hear that? My Baby Must Be a Magician?
No.
Wow. Maybe he does a lot of tricks. Tomorrow by the Strawberry Alarm Clock. Darlin' by the Beach Boys. Are these songs made up? I Wish It Would Rain by the Temptations. That was awesome. Love Me 2 Times by the Doors. That was even more awesome. Spooky by the Classics 4. That was number 21, but we can't say that no more. Can we, Spooky?
No.
Can we say anything that's got like the word spook in it?
Go ahead, O'Neill.
Neil, God. It's Vinnie Penn with your 760, the past 7 days in 60 seconds. The award season kicked off with the Golden Globes. The highlight was when Ryan Seacrest made a fool of himself, chasing Brangelina like they were his 15th minute of fame. Speaking of Seacrest, the 8th season of American Idol debuted Tuesday with a brand new judge named Cara DeGardi. It's easier to just call her by her nickname, Paula's replacement. Ricardo Montalban passed away at the age of 88. According to his will, he requested his casket be lined in soft Corinthian leather. Spider-Man creator Stan Lee announced he will unveil a brand new gay superhero. It's raining X-Men. Hallelujah. And finally, the idiot of the week, Tim Allen, who at 55 is going to be a father again. At 55, it is most definitely not tool time. I'm Vinnie Penn, and that was your 760.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. 11:45 at 560 WQAM. We got the Big O coming up at 2.
Rock solid.
Now, when are they going to make that schedule change? Okay, here's one from Steve who says, Don Z and the ZZ Zombies was a great show starting at midnight on WXYZ. He followed 2 other favorites of mine, Lee Allen and his Pakistan horn, and the very cerebral Jim Davis. Speaking of cerebral, who was the guy on WXYZ who was he's dead?
Oh, that guy.
He had a TV show, Paul, oh boy, I can see him with a beard. Paul Winter. Paul Winter, a real pseudo-intellectual, a real intellectual. Great memories of Detroit radio when it was cool, says Steve. The only one great left in Detroit is Dick Purton, who rocks. That is correct. Stay well. I couldn't make it through a day at the orifice without your show. What do you think?
About
Detroit radio? That was it. That's where it was at once upon a time. When Detroit radio died, then it just was the beginning of the end for everybody else.
I thought you were going to ask what I think about that text message you just got.
I'm not going to read that.
Okay.
You want me to read it?
No.
I'll read it to you.
I don't care.
I have French classes today at 3 p.m. and then driving school. See you after that. From?
Paco?
Right. Now, are you satisfied?
Yeah, I can go home now.
That you're sticking your nose into my private business here?
Oh, yeah. I want to know all about it. I'm the one.
Well, a lot of people in the audience would.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gee, who's Paco and what's going on? And are you doing this? And oh, God, get a life already, would you please?
I have no life.
I don't mean you necessarily, but. Here's a good one. Speaking of learning new prejudices, I dare you to walk around your building wearing a T-shirt that says, I'm a gay Jew. Oh, the gay part wouldn't be any problem. With a rainbow logo and Star of David, just in case they can't read English. To top it off, we can get you a rainbow-colored yarmulke, and you can walk around holding hands with Paco. I'd be willing to foot the cost of printing the T-shirts if you agree to this experiment. We can see how many days or hours you can go before one of your Muslim neighbors takes you out. Takes me out for what? Lunch?
There you go.
See, they all take it so very seriously, man. That's what I love about these idiots out there. Oh, you talk a lot of crap, but blah, 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 blah. First of all, being gay in Toronto is like, being alive. It's not any novelty, including in my building. Being Muslim is also no novelty in this building, and being Jewish is also not a novelty. So there you go. So no matter who you have a prejudice against, like this particular emailer, come to my building because you'll find, or come to this part of the city. To any part of the city, you'll find lots of people to dislike. Here's one that says, don't believe the hype, Slumdog Millionaire sucks. It's a bad version of City of God. It is pure crap.
Wow.
Oh, and among deaths, somebody reminded me I had it in my pile. James Whitmore dies at 87. Remember he did the spots for that Miracle Grow?
Right.
Veteran award-winning actor brought American icons to life. It's really sad. Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, as an avid gardener, he was also known as the TV pitchman for Miracle Grow.
There you go.
James Whitmore, the veteran Tony and Emmy-winning actor who brought American icons Will Rogers, Harry Truman, and Teddy Roosevelt to life in one-man shows, died Friday. He was 87. That's old enough. Unless you're 86. And you know what he died from?
Old age?
Lung cancer at his home in Malibu. He was diagnosed with the disease about a week before Thanksgiving. Oh, boy, that's bad. Oh, I'm so thankful I got lung cancer. He smoked like a chimney, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think he smoked. Smoke him if you got him, and he always had him. He cared about acting. His whole life was dedicated to the theater and movies, said actor David Huddleston, a longtime friend who appeared in Whitmore's 1964 movie Black Like Me and did a couple of plays with him. I asked Jimmy Cagney one time to tell me the best thing you can about acting. He said never get caught at it. That's kind of how I'd sum up Jim Whitmore. Don't get caught at acting.
Okay.
Like our management. Don't get caught at managing. Well, you don't have to worry about them. They never will. James Arness, who appeared with Whitmore in the movies Battleground and Them, said Whitmore was an actor's actor, adding that it was always a treat to work with him. He also remembered the great intensity Whitmore could bring to a role. When we wanted to get an actor to play a character who had that quality, Jimmy was the guy you'd think of, said Arness, who starred in Gunsmoke, a TV series that Whitmore appeared in a number of times. A stocky WW2 Marine Corps veteran who bore resemblance to actor Spencer Tracy and shared Tracy's down-to-earth quality, Whitmore earned an acclaim as an actor, early acclaim. Unlike Tracy, who couldn't act as out of a paper bag, but nevertheless, talk about state of mind. Oh. In 1948, Whitmore won a Tony Award for Outstanding Performance by a Newcomer in the role of an amusingly cynical Army Air Force sergeant in the Broadway production of Command Decision. Supporting roles he was in the WW2 Battleground, which he played a tobacco-chewing, battle-weary Army sergeant. Tobacco chewing. So he was smoking it and chewing it and puking it up. Supporting roles and occasional leads in some 50 movies followed over the next 50-plus years, including The Asphalt Jungle, Them, Kiss Me Kate, Battle Cry, Oklahoma, Planet of the Apes, Tora Tora Tora, The Serpent's Egg, Nuts, The Shawshank Redemption, and The Majestic. I got to watch that Shawshank someday.
Go ahead.
I don't have it anymore. And I'm not going to go out and buy it. Although I do have, what do I have?
Of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men, and what's the other one I got?
I don't know.
Schindler's List.
Oh, that. Well, you're never going to watch that, but watch Of Mice and Men.
How do you know?
Because you said you don't want to watch it because it's a Jew movie and you got some problem with that.
Well, I mean, it's just another one of those, I don't know.
It's not just another one of those.
It's not?
No, it was riveting.
Was it?
Yes.
Schindler's List?
It was a very long movie and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I barely blinked.
Well, I haven't played this in a long, long time. If I can find it. Oh, here it is.
Where's the list?
I have no idea what that was in reference to. Do you?
We were making a list at the time, or talking about a list.
A list of what?
I don't know.
Franz list?
That's what I don't remember.
Oh. Well, that sure wasn't very edifying, I'll tell you that.
I think it had to do with one of those...
Usually you're like right on top of these things.
Yeah,
like
it was either Kathy Willits or some other prostitute. I'm trying
it was
to
what?
Some prostitute or
Kathy Willits' mama? A frequent guest actor on TV, Whitmore also starred in 3 series, the 60 to 62 legal drama The Law and Mr. Jones, the 69 detective drama My Friend Tony, and the 72 to 74 hospital sitcom Temperatures Rising, although he left after a year, he later said, because it was just a series of jokes. Like the show is across the street, just a series of bad jokes. In 2000, Whitmore won an Emmy Award as an outstanding guest actor in a drama series for The Practice and received a 2003 Emmy nomination in the same category for Mr. Sterling. An avid flower and vegetable gardener, Whitmore was also known to TV viewers as the longtime commercial pitchman for Miracle Grow garden products. How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the bit we've got on that? Is it called Miracle Grow?
Miracle Groin?
No, not Miracle Groin. Oh, boy. No, it's called Miracle Grow.
Oh.
Hey, guys, if you're getting married this June, are you concerned about your wedding night?
Oh, honey, would you mind?
I'd be glad to, Wilbur, if I could find it.
This is James Whitmore. If you're worried that your bride will think your trouser trout is inadequate, get Miracle Grow. How can Miracle Grow help you? Well, remember that 60-pound cucumber in the Guinness Book of Records? Or that 15-foot zucchini? Who knows? Maybe on your wedding night.
Wilbur, look out! It's headed for the window!
Get a rope! My God, it's a miracle!
Try new Miracle Grow for ladies. You'll grow record-setting melons overnight. Miracle Grow.
All right. See, it was almost worth finding, wasn't it?
Almost.
Well, it brought back great memories of James Whitmore.
Well, at least there's that.
And I can see that box of Miracle Grow right there. I can envision it in my head. Oh, the fake Alice Rantel. Request that would make my day. It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. What is this, a music show, a request show, Alice? You idiot, you fairy. Don't know if I've been mentioned before, but Ironside's associate in the series, Don Galloway, croaked on January 8th. That makes 2 for 2 from that series. The Weather Girls. I like this song a lot, but
sure.
We're going to let Alice Rantel dictate what we're playing on this show. That's a bad idea. But go ahead.
Hi. We're your Weather Girls.
Okay, that was plenty enough.
Sure.
130 votes on the new poll. The solution to the economic crisis is increase spending in infrastructure, 31. Give the money to Neil so we can double it at Woodbine, 23. Do whatever Obama says, 21. Cut taxes, 18. Eat the rich, 15. More government involvement, 12. Less government involvement, 10.
Neil.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
No parts, sounds were used or harmed in the making of this promotion.
Here's the 360 for 560's 360 on where to go, what to do, who to see, and whatever it is you want to do somewhere around here from your community-minded station 560 WQAM. Your format failure leader.
Join WQAM at Jennifer's Escort Lounge from 12 to 2 a.m. and choose from a buffet of beauties that will strut into the reception lobby for you. WQAM will be there with lots of cool prizes. Then join WQAM at Rachel's Roast Beef Emporium from 2 to 3 a.m. Rachel's features sexy Latinas who have given birth to no less than 5 children. WQAM will be there with lots of cool prizes. The sales staff at WQAM will not rest until they can comp free nookie at every whorehouse in town. So join WQAM at Jim's Top and Bottom Gentlemen's Club from 3 to 5 p.m. Client favorite Peaches will not be available until she takes care of that mysterious pimple. WQAM will be there with lots of cool prizes.
Oh, yeah, we got real prizes on this station. Not. Dave says, how you doing? George is right. Where's the list refers to the list of Johns that was floating around during the Kathy Willett scandal. Always been one of my favorite drops, says Dave. And we wouldn't have had it if it were not for the fact that we stumbled into it.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
See, my memory's so short, I can't even remember why I looked for that. Something about a list.
Where's the list?
Right?
Right.
Now, you, having the sharp mind of a younger human, subhuman.
Right.
How do we get into that thing about lists? Franz list, I said.
Right. I forgot.
Oh. Me too. But the thing about where's the list, you remember, from 100 years ago. From the IOD days 100 years ago. That was Kathy Willett's time. Speaking of Kathy Willett's, now that's one thing I never play. Like most people, I'm trying to forget about that bitch. But...
Hey, Neil, it's true. I can have an orgasm just driving down I-95. But only if you're driving beside me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Drive this.
What's wrong with that sentence? Where do we start?
Alice Rantel comes back and says, that was a great tease. You didn't even step on it. Oh, wow, Alice. This is Mr. Radio. What a pro. That song reminds me always of Brian Norcross. You used to play this on WYNC, and the bird will cackle during your talk-ups. I loved it. Says Al. It's either Mr. Radio or Al Rogers, the fake Alice Rantel. I mean, I got news for you. If Alice Rantel at 9 o'clock in the morning doesn't have better things to do in L.A. than send me stupid emails, then poor Alice. Not that there's any malice in those comments, Alice, but just hang out at the Palace. That got Luke Crone so upset. We had a restaurant sponsor called the Palace, me and Alice Rantel, and we both did an appearance there. And I was teasing the appearance on the air. I was promoting it, and I said, come out and see yours truly and Alice at the Palace. Oh, that's when Alice was still in the closet. That would be like Charles Nelson Riley being in the closet, you know. Not fooling too many people, Alice. Hey, Alice.
You fairy.
Especially with those Sean Cassidy pictures plastered all over the walls. Tim says, good morning, Neil. How's your day going? It's going well, Tim. And Tim says, I'm great. Well, I didn't ask, but I'm glad to hear it. I sent you an email last week on slot machines, and you ripped me an ass. You bet. When I was asking you about what machine you choose to play, I was talking about when you know you want to play Wheel of Fortune, and there were 7 or 8 in a row. Which one do you choose to play? I play whichever one is open if it's a 5 times machine. If it's a double diamond machine, I'll pass, El Paso. If there are more than one open, I'm ready to be played. Well, if there's more than one open and ready to be played, I look at the wheel. And if the last spin was like 25 or 30, I avoid it like the plague, which doesn't necessarily prove anything. If the last spin was the lowest on the wheel, 20, sometimes that's a good one to hop on because that's the bottom of the cycle. And sometimes shortly after that, it pays like a jackpot or something pretty, it gets hot. A hot machine, man. I know it can be a loosing habit, but I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month and want some pointers. Ask your listeners if they have any advice for me. Yeah, eat all the great meals, go see some good shows, get laid. That's my advice. Don't get started on the schlotz, okay, Tim? That's my advice. And him, maybe he thinks I'm being facetious. I'm kidding. That's my serious, heartfelt advice. Don't get started on the schlotz. Real good idea. Do like they do at the Hard Rock. Go in and say, hey, can you tell me where the loose schlotz are, the loose machines? And after everybody stops laughing their ass off at you, you try one. You try one a little bit. You try. It all depends on how much cash you got, man. How much cash you got? George will take some of it.
Yeah.
We'll handle it for you.
Shine your shoes, mister.
So it's like the bank. The bank holding your checks for days and days, even though they clear, like no matter where in the world they're, what bank they're from or where the hell they're from, within a couple of days they clear. But they hold them for days and weeks and months. How'd you like to hold on to some other people's money?
Okay, just for a little while.
Just make interest in it. I'd call up Maria B., and see if she can give us some good investment advice on that money.
Eventually.
Neil, one of the greatest songs of all time from 1971, I'd love to change the world by 10 years. Have you ever heard this song before, and how do you feel about it? 10 years, I love it. And he sends me the link so I can listen to it. Do you know that song, 10 Years After? I love it. Never heard of it.
That's the name of it, 10 Years After?
And it's got the lyrics. He actually sends me the lyrics. Everywhere is freaks and harries, dykes and fairies. Tell me where is sanity. Tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more. I'd love to change the world, but I don't know what to do, so I'll leave it up to you. Never heard of it.
No, I know it. Why don't I have it? That's not the real name of it, though.
Oh, 10 Years After, is that the group?
Maybe.
I thought he was going to say, I'd like to teach the world to sing. Oh, who is that, the Hillside Singers?
I don't know.
I'd like to kill whoever recorded that song. Hate that. And they play it, back in the day, man, they played that until it was coming out of your ears, till every pore in your body was saturated with it. And then they did commercials with that, didn't Coke?
Yeah.
It's the real thing?
That I have.
You do have that.
The Coke
it's
song,
the real thing. What?
The Coke song, yes.
Well, you got some Coke? Snort it.
No thanks. There you go. Is this the one you're thinking of?
Yeah. Who did that?
I don't know.
Who that?
Wasn't it the Cowsills or something?
No, it was not the Cow Piles. I love the Cow Piles.
That's what I heard.
I did.
No.
Oh, am I going to have to look it up in the book? Oh, you got the commercial.
It's the real thing.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I got Tiger by a Tail. Boy, there's a lot of songs that start with I. I'd like to teach the world to sing by the New Seekers and the Hillside Singers. Boy, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. They both done it. But I think the one you were playing was by the New Seekers, the commercials.
I'll take your word for it. It's not labeled on my little thingy here.
The New Seekers. Let me look up the New Seekers while you're looking for whatever we were looking for. That song that he's got the wrong name on.
Yeah.
See, when you send us
I'd love to change
like
the world.
What is it?
You know the song. I'll find it. If it's not in my collection, I'll download it. But you know the song.
I do?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I know.
you know?
It's not a obscure
Oh, you know what
song.
group I really like that I'm looking at here in the book? The New Colony 6. Things I'd like to say, which I will always think about you. That's a good song. I just mentioned that. Who am I looking for? New what?
New Seekers.
I don't see the New Seekers. Now, maybe if I look under seekers, huh? Maybe if you seek, you shall find. During my life, I've done a lot of seeking and a lot of finding, to be honest.
The new leakers.
Neil Sedaka, the seeds, the seekers. But it doesn't have the new seeker. I don't understand what that's all about. Now, what's the other one? Hillside Singers? There's Neil Sedaka. He's married with a whole bunch of kids. I know that surprises a lot of you. Or if anybody ever acted really...
Gay.
Oh, my. You having a good time? Everybody having a good time? He was lighter than a blimp.
Who?
Neil Sedaka.
Oh, yeah.
But married with 100 kids, like
right,
Peter Cetera from Chicago. There's another one. A lady, but with lots of kids. Hillside Singers. I'd like to teach the world. Adopted from a Coca-Cola jingle. What does that mean? I don't understand that. Pop vocal group, and it's got a list of 100 names.
Do-do-do-down, doobie-doo-down, down.
Throwing up is hard to do. Adopted from a Coca-Cola jingle. Not this. So you don't have the Hillside Singers, and I'd like to teach. Not that we need to hear both. We didn't need to hear that other one either. Oh. But it sure killed some sweet time, and that's what we're here for. To kill 4 hours a day, baby, and make your day go by fast, and put a little smile on your puss. Wow.
There you go.
Boy, that's bad. It's too slow.
This is it. This is the one by the Hillside Singers you want.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's too slow. Wasn't Hank close to Kathy, wants the fake lyric king, a.k.a. Mr. Radio? Was 8 times a day by Mitch Lewis about that? Yes. Whatever happened to Mitch's sidekick, Tomacek? Anna Maria Tomacek?
She's in California.
She became a Chicken X sidekick for a while.
She did vocals
she went
for
to California.
but I wouldn't call her that.
Wouldn't call her what?
Anyone's sidekick. They
No,
had that show
she
for
Anna
5
Maria.
minutes, and she did some vocals.
She was great.
She's
and
in
were you doing
California
her
now.
or what?
I'm sorry?
Steve says the new Seekers. We just got through saying that, Steve. What's wrong with you, man? He's a little slow. Tim in Tampa, just stepped out of my car a few minutes, wondering if you got my email yet. Yeah, I got your email. My suggestion is don't start. Just like I told you last week. Neil, did you ever have anything to do with WBBF in Rochester? Yeah, I listened to it. Not a bad station in the mid-'60s, especially one DJ named Jack Palvino. I remember Jack Palvino. He sucked. I don't remember him. I remember, who the hell was on that station? WBBF, Home of the Busy Bees. That was their logo. Home of the Busy Bees. Nick Nixon, he was one of them. Joe something or other. And Jack Palvino. It says another interesting Rochester station was WSAY. Oh, yeah, interesting. Ersatz. They'd play racy rock and roll all day, and then at 5 every day they'd have a prayer service with a bunch of nuns chanting, Hail Mary, full of grace, yada. That's right. Pete in Tampa says, Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. WSAY. I almost worked there. I went and auditioned for a job there, and they tried to hire me, but then I think I started in Batavia. WSAY. Horrible. But they hired a bunch of kids. That's why I almost got to work there. They went hard again, and they had names for the kids. Everybody was like either Nick Nixon or Joe Jones or Tom Thomas or Timmy, like that. What's that?
10 years after. You know this song. It was a huge song.
Oh, I love this song. I love this song. I don't like it. I love it.
Changed the world. Yeah, I told you you knew it. It's not
one of my favorites.
Obscure song.
Everywhere is freaks and Harris, dykes and
fairies.
Tell me where is
You fairy. Yay.
Yeah, that's a great song. I do like it a lot, and I do know it, and too bad we can't play it all.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil Goff.
The United States has no quarrel with the Iraqi people. Our quarrel is with Iraq's dictator and with his aggression. Iraq will not be permitted to annex Kuwait. Just the way it's going to be.
You fairy. We like to beat Saddam Hussein and hit him with a pipe. Sit back and watch his head explode like a melon way too ripe. He tried to steal away Kuwait and beat the oil sheik. Let's put a gun up to his head and blow away this deed. I
God, that song was so overplayed, on and on. I'm so sorry that we thought about it today.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had to put up with the commercials, too, you know.
Right.
The Coke commercials. I like to, yeah, whatever one.
Hey, that was good compared to some things.
Like what? Compared to what?
Like most of the other commercials, at least that was a pleasant tune.
Yeah, Sodom said it was great compared to Death by Hanging.
Yeah.
How come they hung the son of a bitch so fast? And the reason, the answer being that they didn't want the word to get out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
About the fact that he was a CIA stooge and we stuck him in there in the first place.
That's right.
Now, here's an email that's going to get you frosted. Speaking of Frosted Flakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and somebody sent me an email, that was last week, about Cocoa Puffs or some crap like that. I got news for you, man. Frosted Flakes beat a bomb. That's where it's at. Frosted Flakes. I could eat like a whole family-sized box right out of the box. Just shovel it down. And it's like, and guess what I had last night for a snack?
Frosted Flakes.
No. Remember we were talking about those popcorn, the cheese, the white cheese?
Oh, yeah.
In the black bag?
All carbs, baby. You're going to die.
What?
You're going to die up there.
Oh, I am. My blood sugar's bad. In fact, you know how long my blood sugar's been bad?
Too long?
Year and a half.
That's bad.
Year and a half. Bad. Now, today it could be good. Could be. You think it will?
Maybe.
Maybe I won't have a candy bar before I go off to Woodbine at 2.
Maybe I...
Maybe I will, yeah. You know, you could have played that whole thing.
Go ahead. Maybe I do.
Oh,
there you
what
go.
happened to it? It's all distorted now.
What
Maybe
is it?
I do.
Oh,
it is?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's been in there potching around with your drop-ins. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Flea.
I doubt it.
Flea. He's our friend.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of anybody else in the building who's our friend. I can't think of anybody right now.
Duff.
What's... Who? Oh, Duff. Duff, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Duff's a great guy. It's too bad that they've screwed him over so bad. But that's the price you pay when you're a good guy. And that, you know, they stick it to you.
When you're not in on the fraternity,
they stick it to you. And from what Muff says, it wouldn't be the first time. Anyway, speaking of that, that's a great segue right into this email that you're not going to like. It's from the fake Larry King, who I guess must be Fred Souder.
Why do you say that?
It says, didn't Fred Souder, and then in quotes, go out with Anna Maria as well? Word is she got around, it says.
Well, that's not Fred Souder, first of all.
How do you know that?
Well, if Fred Souder did go out with her, which I don't believe that he did.
No, I don't think she'd go out with him.
He wouldn't be talking smack about her.
How do you know that?
Because Fred's a good guy.
And he emails us under his real name.
Right.
So who's the fake Larry King? How would he know about Fred Souder and Anna Maria? Huh?
The fake whoever the F, the fake fill in the blank is somebody.
Not Mr. Radio.
Is somebody who listens a lot or used to work with us.
No. It's somebody who worked at IOD back in that period of time.
I said who listens a lot or used to work with us.
No, definitely used to work there. Maybe one of the engineers. Maybe Steve Ziegler with that big screwdriver and that bad hairpiece. Hey, Steve-O.
You fairy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, moving along. So that's not Fred Souder.
No.
Did she get around?
Excuse me?
It's just a rhetorical question. Here's one. It says from the fake Larry King again, Frosted Flakes aren't good. They're great. Cocoa Krispies are great, too. Yeah, Tony the Tiger says they're great. They are. That would be a good poll to take about the most annoying overplayed song of all time. That has to be one of them. I'd like to teach the world. Oh, God. And let me give you another one that they played into the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Leftovers number 5.
Over and over. Right?
On Thanksgiving Day, everybody ate the food.
Over and over. Well, I guess maybe that's why it was called Over and Over. Neil, I just got this. Why did he send it again about I'd love to change the world? Thank you, I got it. First time. We did a whole segment on it, and he sends it again. Jim in Tallahassee says, hi, Neil and George. I know you really don't like doing jokes. Well, we don't. Heard a funny one today I thought I would share. It comes from another of your faithful listeners, David Melbourne. Shortly after Michael Phelps' endorsement contract with Kellogg's had been terminated, he announced he had signed another endorsement contract for a different cereal. The new contract is for Wheaties, spelled, well, you know how. W-E-E, yeah. R-R-O-O. What our friender is trying to tell us is
I have no life.
Too Much Time in My Hands. That's a good song. Who did that? Too Much Time on My Hands.
Styx.
Styx, wow. Stinks?
Yes.
Styx. For some strange reason, I've forgotten all about Styx. There's your president. Oh, there's our president.
Grid, we need to transport this new energy.
See, we got to get out of the habit of saying there's your president, because when the previous one was there, I didn't want any part of him, so it was always your, meaning anybody else's.
That energy can get to Chicago and can get to St. Louis and can get to other places all across the country.
Town hall meeting in Elkhart, Indiana. Have you ever been there?
No.
You don't want to. What's that?
Styx.
Too Much Time on My Hands.
Yes.
I love that song.
It's not their best work.
It's what?
It's not their best
work?
No. This is.
Well, we said we were going oldies. That was the rumor. Going oldies on QAM. We're spinning it into oldies. We're spinning some wax.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's enough. You know a group that I really think is very underrated, that nobody ever talks about? One of the greatest groups of all time is ELO.
I agree with you.
One of the most just fantastic, original, sensational.
Yep.
Rocky says...
Sorry.
George is just... Yeah, I was going to say...
Go ahead.
But I didn't. Rocky says the song was written by Jack Benson. He was a part-time actor and songwriter. Oh, he's talking about, I'd like to teach the world. The Coca-Cola company stole the song from him and used it for advertising Coke at the holidays. It was then licensed by Coca-Cola to different groups who covered it. Jack Benson was a friend of my parents. That's how I know the story, says the real Rocky. How do you like that?
Medium?
New York City Dave says, Fred Souter loves your show way too much to waste your time on phony emails. Well, we know that.
That is correct.
He's a good guy. Very ugly, but a good guy. Incredibly ugly. Looks like his head has been run through a meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be an exaggeration?
No.
Far be it for me to talk about ugliness, but at least I admit to it.
He's a good guy. He likes us. We like him, and he's uglier than ugly.
Wow. Now, that's going a little bit too far, I think. Do you hear that, Fred? George said you're uglier than death.
He's a freaking Frankenstein, man. He's like Quasimodo on a bad day.
I don't even remember him that well, but... Tampa says, I understand you don't want me to start with the slot machines. It's a bad habit to get into, which could be very expensive. I have to try it, Neil. I'm dying to play the Wheel of Fortune after listening to you. They call it Wheel of Torture, those of us who play it often, for a good reason, Tim. Wheel of Torture. If any of your listeners could email you some good tips on which denomination is best to play. What does that mean, which denomination is best to play? Whatever you can afford. Just don't play no $5.
Play a Catholic, that denomination.
I was wondering if one denomination pays out better than the other. Yeah, the dollar. Dollars are good. They're great. If you win. If you lose your ass. If you can afford quarters. In Vegas, they've probably got like nickels now. They got nickels for everything. Nickels and pennies and 2 cents. And then the multiples. Well, it's 100 lines times 5 credits. 500 times 2. So you're playing like $10 a spin. And it's like a 2-cent machine. Watch out for the multiples, Tim. They're going to get you. See, all this slot talk, and I was thinking maybe later I'll go. I don't know. But now that Paco's got a busy day and I'm not going to be able to converse till later on in the evening, I'm going to at 2 o'clock put my shoes, because my cabbie don't work on Monday.
Okay.
So I got to have that tough assignment of driving that beautiful Corvette to Woodbine. You know, the beautiful blue one, the 2004 Corvette?
Right.
That's like brand new.
Yeah.
Got 7,000 miles on it. Maybe I'll sell it on the air. Maybe we'll sell all of our possessions on the air to get ready for the depression. You know.
Good plan.
Get ready for. Oh, and who's standing in front of the camera?
Turning our economy around. Thank you, Elkhart.
Oh, somebody's holding a sign up.
Thank you.
Somebody was standing in front of the camera and blocking out the president. Now, whoever's doing that ought to be dragged away.
I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Absolutely. Yes.
Would they curse just my name.
Yes.
If I farted in heaven, would I stand the shame? If I farted in heaven, would the raunchy smell send me straight to hell?
Absolutely.
Or can anybody smell up in heaven? Does gas act the same? Does it linger in heaven?
Increíble.
Would you be ashamed to pull my finger in heaven? I'll know these things when the fat lady sings.
Boy!
'Cause I'll be the one who brings tears to heaven. 'Cause I know I'll be the one who brings tears to heaven.
12:34, 26 to 1 at 560 WQAM. The sun is shining. It's just beauteous. Do you know it's going to be 52 here on Wednesday? Rain. 52.
Yeah.
And Friday it was 9, an all-time record. Broke the all-time record for that date in February. 9.
Yes?
Yeah. I got in my car and I thought to myself, man, it's pretty warm for February. And I looked on the little thing where it tells you what the temperature is outside. And this thing isn't working now all of a sudden. Oh, no. It's not working. How do you like that? My keyboard is not... What?
Uh-oh.
God, there you go. Well, we didn't want to play Robert Reaper, you know? And I can't blame it. What's the story? Is he still hanging out there a little bit or not?
I don't know.
Oh, please. Please tell me no. And let's take a look at the weekend... Let's look at the weekend schedule, see if Geldy's on this weekend. Don't see it. I don't see it. I see the Beast on there Saturday 4 to 7, right in the middle of the afternoon when people are awake. Scary. And the Big O is on 9 to 1. Boy, that poor baby's got to work 6 days a week to eke out a living. What a shame. But I don't see no Geldy at all. At all. Wow. Too bad Leo, the Geldy lover, turned out to be a John ZTR, you know?
Oh, well.
I'm sure we'll find a real one. I'm sure Geldy will find somebody out there, some stalker in Radioland. Larry from the North says, KDC, I won't read the word he uses, I can't. See you next time. KDC tried her best to get prayer and God into the interview with a Hudson River pilot last night on 60 Minutes. She said, did you start praying when the plane lost power? He said he was a little bit too busy just then to start praying, and he would let the people in the back of the plane do it for him. He made her look stupid, which isn't very difficult. Then she did almost the same thing when talking to the passengers. She tried to get them to cry, and the whole thing was dripping with emotion and dramatic music. I thought 60 Minutes was a lot more mature than all this bullshit, but it's not. What a stupid bitch. I was screaming at the TV, says Larry. I told my wife I didn't want to watch this Schmidt anymore, and she agreed we turn the TV to something else. Anything else, please. Cracker, please. No more KDC. You next time.
Please.
So tax cuts targeted to working families are the most effective means of stimulus that we can provide to the economy. Now, you're making another point, though, that has to do with a separate part of what we're going to need to get this economy moving again.
He's much too intelligent to be American president, I'll tell you that right now. He's much too articulate and too intelligent after we had 8 years of that. Nigel says, hello, Neil and George. Slumdog Millionaire is a great movie and deserves every bit of hype it's gotten. Unlike many of the so-called critically acclaimed movies, Slumdog has got no boring parts. I was hooked from the opening scene, and I'm more of a hard ass than George. So my opinion, and also my opinion, Frida Pinto is one of the hottest chicks alive. Frida Pinto?
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Wow.
Google her.
I wonder if she's kin to Joey Pinto. You know who Joey Pinto is, don't you?
No.
You don't know that's Joey's real
Joey
name?
Reynolds, yeah.
Wow,
sorry,
Joey Pinto.
Yeah.
I am that hemorrhoid.
Right.
For some reason, I didn't commit to memory.
Committed to memory? I can't blame you. But you remember Bill Martian?
Yeah.
He was my favorite Joey sidekick. The Mole says, although I'm boycotting Kellogg's right now, that's like George and Kraft. Same thing. Farbison.
Not unlike.
You should try Smart Start from Kellogg's. Yeah. Frosted Flakes for adults.
See, as opposed to Kraft.
I don't eat cereal. Yes.
As opposed to Kraft, Kellogg's does make something good every now and again.
No. What's wrong with Kraft?
Everything.
How about Kraft macaroni and cheese, man?
Foul. It's all foul. It's all made of the same crap. Everything is foul.
Wow.
Velveeta, Miracle
Whip. Anyway, Frosted Flakes for adults, Smart Start, great cereal. Since I smoked the weed, I will not be purchasing anymore, but it rocks. Smart Start, have you had it?
No.
What is it? Oh.
I'm looking at pictures of Frida Pinto, and I'll be really busy for a little while here.
Was she that hot?
She's very hot.
Wow. Is she as hot as, what's his name? Ryan Phillippe?
Way hotter than whatever his name might happen to be.
Oh, Ryan Phillippe.
His.
George is great. I like him, and when he and Flea are together. Has Fat Chris and Joe Bell broken up? They made a great big fat couple. Yeah, they've had an ugly split, I believe. They've had a parting of the gay ways. Won't see them together no more. And you notice we don't get those emails anymore. Don't get any emails from the fake Clarence, from the fake Fat Chris. Stick's best song is Light Up Everybody. Jeff Lynne is ELO. He was in the SNL band, produced the Traveling Wilburys, and was the guy you can't name. Produced Tom Petty's best album. Was in the Blues Brothers, so I agree Jeff Lynne is great. What does that mean, the guy you can't name?
I didn't know we were trying to name him. I know Jeff Lynne.
Do you know Jeff Cohen?
Yep.
How about Marty Cohen? 200 votes even on the new poll. That's not too bad, but only 33 say give the money to Neil so we can double it at Woodbine. That's not good.
Wonderful WQAM.
Today on Dr. Phil. Let's do it.
Oh, that's not the one I want to play.
Damn it.
I'm Chris Matthews. Welcome to Hardball on MSNBC. I got so much spittle around my food hole I could water the grass. Quite possibly it's from all those years of working for Tip O'Neill. Crazy. The only possible reason my saliva glands are all out of whack may possibly be because I drink scotch from a dog's bowl. Probably from too many years of working for Tip O'Neill being told I wasn't good enough, smart enough, or skinny enough. Plus, I got dillweeds like Bill O'Reilly taking shots at me every night. I'm probably one of the world's greatest minds. If you don't mind wearing a sneeze shield. The reason I don't let people finish their answers is because I can't hear what they're saying. My ears are not even hooked up. The constant swishing of saliva in my mouth sounds like the ocean. The only time I truly feel comfortable is when we take Hardball out on the road on MSNBC. That way I can try to convince co-eds to come back to my hotel room. That is before they realize in order to kiss me and get close to my mouth, they have to be wearing a mask and a snorkel. Many people don't realize John McCain suffered from the same malady, but he had his saliva glands burned closed. Obama didn't. Just one of the many varied and stunning differences we like to point out here on MSNBC. Here's one more important fact you should realize before you go to the voting booth. They have different hair color. I'm Chris Matthews playing hardball on MSNBC.
You know, this fact you just sent me is scandalous.
Right.
If true.
We would like a second opinion maybe then.
Yeah, maybe somebody else heard it. Although I doubt that too many of our people listen to old Paul and ancient Ron. It says, this is from some Chris facts. Hello, Neil. On Thursday and Friday, young Ron and Paul played Chris Matthews throughout most of the morning. Oh, no. Poor Chris is in a vacuum, in a tunnel. Go ahead. Is the content of your show allowed to be ripped off by these talentless a-holes every day? Doesn't your management even care about this? What would you like our management to do about it?
Not every day, only every other day. You got to check
That's
the
right.
schedule.
Sorry if you already had this info. No, we did not, Chris, and thank you so much for the spy report about...
Go ahead.
That, but nevertheless, I'm sure if it's true, we'll get... I mean, if they did it Thursday and Friday, Shameless. It's one thing to be a rip-off artist, Paulie, but shameless rip-off artist. Must be that bacon.
The Greff's
coming back at me, huh? I haven't had that bacon in a long time because I never think to buy any. What?
I said, what a bargain if you can enjoy it all day.
No, I don't have it. I don't have any taste. Just Greff's, you know.
See.
No bacon taste.
That's too bad.
It's like this show. It's okay. It's tasteless. Tasteless. Oh, I remember when your show was a lot more tasteless. So do I. That's back when we had an audience. Let's have another one of those phone call conference calls. Well, now that we destroyed your show, guys, what do you think is a good idea? Cliff and Kendall says, he sends me this. It's a story. Authorities in South Florida said a man was arrested after calling 911 to complain that a fast food restaurant had run out of lemonade. Well, this is an old story. We already had this.
Yes.
Boynton Beach Police said Gene Fortune, 66, has been charged with abuse of 911. That's an old story. Thank you, but no thanks. Old. Ancient story. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this one. The vision of Jesus at the Dade City auto dealer. And here's a picture of it. Ruth Johnson's at her desk in the showroom. Another employee passes through in a wheelchair, and it's got a picture of Jesus. Oh, look at that on the door. Have you seen it?
No.
It's going to be very effective on the radio.
Hold it up.
Want me to forward it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, get out of here with this thing. Forward to George. Okay, and I think you'll agree with me. That's Jesus.
Is that the one with the dog art?
The what?
The dog penis.
No, there's no dog's penis. What are you talking about?
Well, that was one that was making.
We're talking about Jesus, and you're starting in with the dog's penis? Boy, you talk about a sure trip to hell.
That was one that was making the rounds for a while.
Here's a suggested poll, horrible poll. What form of government did you or your family escape? Socialist, communist, democratic, religious, etc. How about fascist, as in Bush and the neocons? That's a bad poll. Bad. Have you got that yet? Did it come through? You got it? You got it?
No.
No? Boy, that's slow. It's like that one you sent me this morning. That useless one about the brother fax machine.
Yeah.
George says my printer is screwed up.
Or you just don't have the appropriate software.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out guesses.
Maybe I ought to get a new printer. Not.
Or just the right software.
I love that printer. Don't you like it? You got one there that I bought.
It's just fine.
It's a 4-in-1. It's a copier, it's a faxer, it's a scanner, and it's a whatever I left out. Printer.
The image
Brother,
is not,
MFS.
coming
What?
Through. The images aren't coming through.
The images are not coming through?
Might be a setting on my end. I don't know.
Here we go again. Are you kidding me?
Let me fiddle with it.
Oh. You've got to be kidding me.
Well, I wish I was.
Do you want me to try it again?
No, let me fiddle with it.
How can the image not come through? It's
right-click to download. It's a safety feature. Hang on. Here we go.
Safety feature my ass. You got it?
No.
Vision of Jesus at Dade City auto dealer. I wish I had the whole story, though. But it just has the picture. See, the picture is kind of useless for the audience.
Yeah.
And even you can't see it.
Mm-mm. No, I ain't getting it.
Although now that I look at it, I think Jesus does have a penis. It looks like a gorilla with a large penis.
I see.
You can't see it?
No, man.
Well, what did you get?
The email, but the pictures are not coming through.
Oh, I think you must have a block on there. You must have a Jesus penis block on your email.
I must. Shouldn't everyone?
Well, I think the knob guy's out there.
The knobber? Go get you some. Go get you a polish. Go get you a spit shine.
He always turns the knob like he's trying to open the door, you know?
Yeah. I think that's part of the process, isn't it?
Part of the evil of it. Twisting my knob. So you're not going to get it, is that what you're saying? Well, whoever sent it to me, they can send it to you.
They could.
They can email it to you. So I don't want you to miss the picture of the vision of Jesus on the door. All these people hallucinating. Oh, Jesus, oh, it's the Virgin Mary. Oh. Yeah. If Jesus makes a comeback, do you think he's going to do it as a...
I got it.
You got it, Ann?
I got it. Yeah.
You see him? Does it look like a gorilla with a penis?
No, it just looks like a schmear.
A schmear? A looking at schmear on the door? And I'm sure whoever sent it to us is thinking, yeah, schmear this.
Looks like the space shuttle.
Schmear my tochas. What?
Looks like the space shuttle.
Does it really?
A little bit.
I see the Lord on there. Jack Lord.
We're doing that a lot today.
Oh, that's bad. Well, it must have been a great weekend.
It was for me.
Yeah, it was fine for me, too. It was okay. Make sure you're running the latest drivers available from the Brother website, says somebody. The latest drivers. And it's got a link to it. Now, what does that mean? Huh?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I was hoping you'd tell me.
Well, let me click on the link. I do this with... Oh, it's the software download. Now, has it got one? No, it's the same thing I saw myself on my own, but it doesn't have it for that model because that model is discontinued. So what do you think? Yeah, exactly. What difference?
Oh.
Wow. Here's one from Anthony. I was listening to Cousin Brucey on Sirius XM, and lady requested Yellow River, and I had to laugh. All I could think of was Yellow Jockstrap. Boca Brian's a genius. Could you play that one, please? Thanks, the fake Jeff Rimmer. Oh, the fake Jeff Rimmer is making a comeback. But you know what?
What?
It's sure a big improvement over the real one, I'll tell you that. I haven't heard from him in a long time. Not long enough, but a long time.
Hubba, 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 hubba. Men who like talking about other guys are usually hiding from what they realize. They want their nose in an athlete's life. Sniffing yellow jockstrap. Much life in sport holes conceal their fear by talking about sports while drinking a beer. They desire, of course, to be a submissive queer. For some yellow jockstrap. Yellow jockstrap. Yellow jockstrap. Only queers want to hear sports all day. Yellow jockstraps. Yellow jockstraps. The management here is undeniably gay. Anyone who wants to hear just sports all stinking day is dreaming about a locker room, golden shower spray. Yellow jockstrap.
You fairy.
Hey, how about those Dolphins? What a game they played. And somebody's kid with the Hurricanes. Do talk about it all the time. Makes you a maggot, I'm afraid. You like yellow jockstrap.
Gay.
Churning and burning out morning shows. No interest in learning about radio. Just a sausage party for a few sporthole homos who like yellow jockstrap. Yellow jockstraps. Yellow jockstraps. Sporthole sissies who on and out. Yellow jockstraps. Yellow jockstraps. They're on your mind to be in your mouth.
Sports, 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 sports.
Sports all day makes you gay. Sports all day makes you gay. Sports all day makes you gay.
Okay, somebody wants to know what's the model number of my printer. Brother MFC 4800. Discontinued. Great machine, though, man.
Right.
There you go. Maybe they're going to help me out, you think?
Let's hope.
It's on TBO.com now and SPTimes.com on Friday. What is?
Mm-hmm.
It's on TBO.com now and SP... I don't know what that means.
Me either?
You know what it means?
No.
I don't either. And that's from Boz, who's ordinarily a rational... oh, I see. Vision of Jesus at Dade City Auto Dealer. He sent that. He sent the picture.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it again.
Get right
over
there.
It looks like the Ape Man.
I'm going to go and start praying.
It looks like the Ape Man with an erection.
Looks like the Swamp Thing.
The Swamp Thing? Okay, so maybe this guy's going to send me the info on a... Wouldn't that be great if he solves my problem about printing stuff out? And then I can't say, oh, it's chopped off, which I think adds a little something to the reading of the emails, you know. Oh, by the way, it's 1 o'clock and no calls yet today. Think we're going to take any in the last...
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon. Obama went down to D.C. He just became the president. He won the campaign despite his middle name, and off to the White House he went. When he came across George W. in the Oval Office not doing squat, that's when Barack jumped up on the desk, said, Bushy, let me tell you what. I bet you didn't know it, but I'm the president-elect. I don't mean to be gruff, but move your stuff, the economy is wrecked. Now you were a pretty good leader, sir, but give Obama his due. I'm gonna fix this mess, get the terrorists, plus I speak better than you. Bush said, your name's Barry, and I just wanna say, don't make the mistake, think the job is cake. In a year, you won't think that way.
Obama's bringing hope and change from Chicago to D.C. since he has been elected as commander-in-chief. And if he's good, he will get re-elected president. But if he stinks, we'll call him an experiment.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm printing something out.
Okay.
Muy importante.
See?
And I'll run it by you, and you'll see. You're the technical genius.
All right.
Hey, Neil, if you take the ink cartridges out and reinstall them, most printers ask you to print a test page. Then that page comes out as cut off. Follow instructions to recalibrate the fake Jeff Rimmer. What does that mean? Take out the ink cartridge? The toner cartridge you're talking about?
At this point, I would like to divorce myself from any technical advice you might be getting from other people, which may or may not work, but you're going to wind up...
Well, that's not going to... I've replaced that. Right. That's got nothing to do with it. Thanks a lot, fake Jeff Rimmer, but that's not it.
Visions of you doing a whole bunch of things that people suggest.
Yeah.
That may or may not work.
Here's one from Imperius 609 who says, the MFC 4800 is on the page I sent the link to, but here's the direct link. It appears that the driver hasn't been updated since 2004, though, so it might just be the same as you already have. And then this is chopped off on the right. Not sure why you're married to this particular model. There are a lot of great printers that can be had for a little money. Try downloading the full driver and software package here and reinstall.
That's a good idea. That's what we tried to do this morning. Let's try it with his link tomorrow morning, yes.
Yeah, let's try it in the morning.
And send me a copy of that so that we have the same thing and we do it all together.
Okay. Okie dokie. I'm sure the audience is fascinated by that.
Oh, you know they are.
Bad.
They're writing it
down. We're trying to solve a real problema. Una problema bad. Muy malo.
Sí.
236 votes on the poll. Pretty weak. And how many say give the money to Neil so we can double it at Woodbine? 38. That's right. Give me all of America's money. Give me a couple of weeks there and I'll just plunge my guts out. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, yeah.
Now, what is this from Wesley Chapel? Wesley where the hell is he? Regular. He's over there on the West Coast somewhere, trapped in Lakeland or somewhere. He says, at first glance, this might seem to be too long for you to read aloud. Oh, that's right. As they say in some provinces, but it's a tremendous and surprisingly fast read with backstories I'd never heard before. Perhaps you can get your web guy to post a link. I don't think so. Oh, West and Lakeland. The Day the Music Died didn't kill music. It lived and grew bigger. By David Hinckley, Daily News staff writer. I mentioned this on Friday, but I never got to it. Thank God. It's long. Oh, my God. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Forever. And here's one from Tony Perez, the fake Tony Perez, The Other Side of the Stadium Giveaway by Michael Lewis.
Who?
Oh, here's the story about the Jesus thing.
Oh.
It says the sales folks have a lot of downtime these days at Jarrett Ford Lincoln Mercury. That's typical for a small-town car dealership during a severe economic slump. What's unusual is how some workers are passing time. This is in Dade City. In the center of the used car sales manager's office door is a wood stain about 3 feet tall. Some look at it and swear it's Jesus. Jesus, God, are you back on the door again?
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes it gets so crazy that faith is all you got left, said Chip Davis, who runs a paintless dent removal service that services Jarrett. Davis immediately noticed the anomaly and identified it as the central figure of Christianity. Anybody who's seen the pictures of the burial cloth and the image of Christ that's on that cloth, that's the same image on that door, said Davis, who attends Cypress Meadows Community Church in Clearwater, and who obviously has had some mental effects from the churching he's gone through. By the way, don't watch that horrible thing about Ted Haggard. It's a waste of time. It's a puff piece. It's an ass kiss, which evidently he kissed some real ugly ass in his time. Davis snapped a photo of the door and put it on his Facebook page. He also sent a copy to the St. Pete Times. I recognized it as soon as I saw it, he said. Carlos Castro, who's been at the dealership for 16 years, said some customers have taken notice. Oh, it's Jesus on the door again. People come in and stop and look, he said. A couple of them will do the sign of the cross. That doing the sign of the cross business. Oh.
Yeah.
In fact, I told you about Paco taking like aspirin and stuff and like crossing himself. The other day, we went to some friend of his house, and I had to go with him because he only has a G1, so he needs like a fully licensed driver to drive with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he had me, he drove, and I sat in the passenger seat, took my life in my hands. And when he started the car, I noticed he crossed himself before he backed out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't. I don't say anything.
I think they teach that in driver's ed in Mexico. I don't know.
At Burro's driver's ed?
Yeah. Before you back
the
your
Burro
donkey
is
up.
very impressed when you cross
Before
yourself.
you back your ass up.
A couple of them will do the sign of the cross. Castro recalled the discoloration of the front of the ugly duckling car rental building in Clearwater that drew crowds of worshipers who thought that was the Virgin Mary. It's not as defined as that one, he said. It looks a little bit like Sasquatch, piped up Ruth Johnson from the receptionist desk, like you said.
Yeah.
What did you say, Bigfoot?
I said the swamp thing, but yeah.
Oh, the swamp thing. James Bauman Jr., who was getting an oil change, described it as Christ in a Jedi outfit, then as a Persian king. Or maybe it's a Persian queen. He then said there probably was significance in the stain, just as there is in Barack Obama being president and Israel's conflict with Hamas. Oh, yeah, the stain on the door, Obama's the president,
right,
and Israel and Hamas.
Yeah, it's all coming together now.
Put it all together, man. Makes sense to me. I see the pieces of the puzzle. I believe the rapture is just around the corner, he said. Oh, yeah. Johnson studied the stain a bit more and said it looked like a caveman. Maybe it's the pissed-off caveman. You think?
Maybe.
We did say at one time it looked like Jesus, she said. Daryl Collins, who occupies the office with the stained door, said Davis had pointed the stain out to him, but he really didn't think much of it. I guess everybody has their own outlook on it, said Collins, 42. It depends on what religion you're from. I guess the Jews wouldn't see Jesus on the door, even though, of course, he was one of their people.
Right.
Collins, who was raised a Baptist, said he's not real big on religion, but called the door pretty neat. I'm not swapping doors with anybody, I can tell you that, he said. That's right, hang on to that door, man. Might be worth a fortune one of these days. Some idiot on eBay will spend like $50,000 for it. $50 million. The son of a carpenter, Collins said he'd never seen anything like it. However, he knows wood has a mind of its own. Son of a carpenter, just like Jesus. Wood will stain differently in different places when the same stain's applied to it, he said. No one knows that better than Stephen Ivarone, who teaches carpentry at Fort Marchman Technical Education Center in Newport Richey. Freshly cut lumber is green and turns brown as it dries out. I know something else that turns brown as it dries out. Diseased trees also look different. Stain takes to wood differently in different spots because of varying moisture levels. Even a floor that's been covered with a carpet will change colors as it ages. A tree is an ever-evolving thing, he said. Cliff Martin, the dealership's general manager, said he only noticed the stain Thursday when somebody pointed it out to him. Martin said the door was put up about 10 years ago when the dealership was remodeled, didn't know the name of the contractor. It looks like a man in a long robe. He said maybe if he calls out Yoshki, maybe he'll jump off the door.
Jesus Christ.
And start dancing around. Martin, who's Catholic and attends Mass every Sunday, did not attach spiritual significance to the office door, but he said maybe the stain would at least attract potential customers. Oh, you don't think this sounds like a
sales
pitch, do you? Like a publicity stunt.
In today's tough economic times?
I like to say we're blessed, but we're not breaking any sales records, so maybe we're just blessed to be in business, he said. Jesus and Mary have spent a lot of time in Florida, it seems. Here's a list of some places they were sighted. Oh, look at this. Looky, here comes Cookie. Clearwater, weeks before Christmas in 96, on a building then being leased by the Ugly Duckling Car Rental Company, an image of what looked like the Virgin Mary materialized. Overnight, the ordinary glass building at US 19 near Drew Street became a mecca for both Christian and the curious. In 2004, an 18-year-old man shattered the top of the window with a slingshot. He was sentenced to 10 days in jail or to pay $1,200. You killed the Virgin Mary, you bastard. You son of a bitch. Spring Hill in 1998, a couple swore they saw Jesus in the rust stains of a ventilation pipe on top of their home. A Tampa radio station, WFLZ, paid them $500 to take the pipe on a month-long promotional tour and then ended up stolen from a Brandon movie theater, only to mysteriously reappear 7 months later. It's a miracle. It's a freaking miracle. Hollywood, Florida in 2004, A woman claimed a grilled cheese sandwich she cooked for 10 years earlier bore the image of the Virgin Mary. It sold on eBay for $28,000 to an online casino. Remember that? I remember it well.
Yep.
What that was her name in Hollywood?
Rosa
Lopez.
There you go.
What memories we got.
Between
Shore
the two of us.
Acres. In 2005, a Shore Acres woman said she saw the face of Jesus in a Lay's potato chip. Port St. Lucie, in 2007, a woman said she discerned the outline of Jesus and Mary in a modeled pancake and took it as a reassuring sign from her recently departed father. Her mother, the cook, thought it looked more like a Bedouin and Santa Claus. An Alabama woman who wanted a gag gift for her soldier husband about to be deployed to Iraq bid $338 for it on eBay, only to have the deal fall through. Finally, an Illinois man claimed it for $29. Palm Beach, that same year, 2007, another woman told the Palm Beach Post she found a seashell that looked like the Virgin Mary. Her head tilted and hands in prayer. A week later, she said she was evicted and forced to move into the cabana behind her ex-husband's home. The move led to a reconciliation, and a holistic doctor she found soon after helped with some medical woe she was suffering from. Oh, the Virgin Mary put her life back together again. Hallelujah. And Pinellas County. Last year, a Pinellas County granite distributor said he had a 7-by-7-foot slab of granite depicting an image of Jesus on the cross. It was in storage for 2 years, and he showed it to an employee who immediately fell to her knees in tears. He tried to sell it on eBay. More than 800 people viewed it online, and several called, but nobody offered the starting bid, $4,999.99.
Neil.
You're listening to Neil Rogers.
Yeah. DAYSUCKS. I met a priest when I was 11. He said he would save my soul, but we made a detour on the way to heaven, and into his bedroom we did take a stroll. Well, he was standing in his underwear, told me to bend over and say a prayer.
Oh, my God.
Pulled up his robe and went, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. I got molested by the preacher man behind the rectory.
Rectum?
Yes. The next day, I felt like a sinner, and I showed up to get communion. But on my tongue, that wasn't a wafer, and it wasn't wine dripping off my chin. Well, he was standing in his underwear.
Oh, my God.
Told me to bend over and say a prayer. Pulled up his robe and went, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. I got molested by the preacher man behind the rectory.
Rectum?
Yeah, he was standing in his underwear. Told me to bend over and say a prayer. Pulled up his robe and went, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. I got molested by the preacher man behind the rectory.
119 at 560 WQAM. Now, Scott in Pinellas Park says used to drive by the Virgin Mary on 19 in Clearwater all the time. It was kind of funny to see the wackos bowing like crazy in the parking lot. At least when the window was broken, the traffic on 19 finally eased up. Coincidence that the Philly Spring Training Complex was built across from there, and the window was then broken. The Phillies done it. The Philly Fanatic done it. What do you think? Don't know, don't care. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
All you Getchkis out there, okay, go bark up some other tree. You're barking up the wrong tree if you're bugging us. All you Getchkis. Now, you're going to feel really bad about this, and I already feel bad about it. You should.
All right.
From Eric, he says, Fred Souter is a great guy, and yes, he did go through a meat grinder. He was in a really bad car or motorcycle accident back in the college days when he was at WVUM. He's lucky to be alive, but yeah, there was reconstructive surgery required. Good guy, though.
Yeah.
Now, don't you feel bad?
No.
Did you know this?
Listen, no. But we men...
You don't feel bad?
No.
You are heartless. You're cruel, man.
No.
You don't feel like a little bad?
No. We men aren't supposed to be
bit?
shallow like that. You know, when a guy tells you that you're ugly, you're supposed to say, like, yeah, and you're stupid. It doesn't matter. Fred knows I like him.
when somebody had to go through reconstructive surgery and is disfigured as a result of a bad wreck, perhaps of his known fault.
He doesn't look disfigured. He looks just ugly like a lot of guys are ugly.
Meat grinder.
Like you're ugly.
Not that ugly.
Well, that's a good point. Sorry, Fred. We love you.
Sorry, Fred. Fred's a good guy.
We love your
We like
ugly
him a
ass.
lot.
Yep.
And you don't feel bad.
Not at all.
I feel bad that you don't feel bad.
I don't.
I feel bad enough for both of us.
I don't.
Because you're a bastard.
Fred
You're a
comes to
hard-hearted
town,
bastard.
He calls me. He emails me. We hang out whenever he wants
do?
to. Him and his fiance. We did. I'm here for him whenever.
I'm here for him?
I'm
What
here
does that
for you,
mean?
Fred.
Well, that sounds really
Gay.
to me.
Well,
I'm
no,
here
not
for
that
him?
way.
What does that mean?
Like if he needs a ride from the airport or something stupid like that, you know?
He's not going to call you for a ride from the airport.
He might. He can.
Did he ever?
No.
A ride from the airport from where?
From wherever. From Yenamsville.
Yenamsville? I bet you Fred Souter never been to Yenamsville. And neither of you, for that matter.
Hey, I used to live in
that's right. You're in it. You're in it. 264 votes on the poll. I'm going to sneeze in a second. Just a warning. I am. Wow. That was one that worked itself up. I mean, I told you that several seconds before it actually spurted out. The sneeze, that is. 264 votes. The solution to the economic crisis is... bailout announcement delayed.
Also, the fact that it really didn't help out the lending situation. What we're expecting, what a lot of...
Yeah, blow it out your ass. Increase spending in infrastructure, 64. Fix the roads. Fix the bridges. Get the bridge tender to work on it. I bet you that guy's long dead, don't you think?
I imagine he is.
Do whatever Obama says, 48. And by the way, we didn't get any further spy reports about old Ron and ancient Paul on Thursday and Friday doing the go-ahead thing.
Right.
So either that fake Chris, either that fax you got was bogus, or nobody is listening to them. They're probably all listening to Bubba the Love Rag.
Ooh.
Bubba the Do-Rag.
Double good.
The Dow's up 87 cents. Not 87 points, 87 cents. Wow. Do whatever Obama says, 48. Eat the rich, 47. Give the money to Neil so he can double it to Woodbine, 39. Cut taxes, 33. Less government involvement, 19. More government involvement, 17. And also another choice, Ich weiß. That's on there. Ich weiß. Don't start with all that. You just don't eat enough deli to be sound Jewish.
Not for lack of trying.
That's the story by Wes Chappell on the day the music died. You want to hear it or not? It's 100 pages. It says the music didn't really die February 3rd, 1959, the day a four-seat airplane carrying Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper, J.P. Richardson, crashed into a cornfield 8 miles north of Clear Lake, Iowa. 5 years and 6 days later, the Beatles, who learned their craft from Buddy Holly Records and whose name is a shout-out to Holly's Crickets, played The Ed Sullivan Show. Oh, I never knew that. Did you know that?
Nope.
The Beatles, the name is a shout-out to Buddy Holly's Crickets.
How do you like that?
No, the music lived. It just got bigger than anyone in 59 could have imagined, it says. Still, that plane crash deeply affected rock and roll, and the world in 59 was still in early adolescence. The term rock and roll itself had only come into widespread use about 3 years earlier, though it had floated around the blues world since at least the 20s as a thinly camouflaged synonym for fun under the sheets. Rock and roll. My ass. When you're young, you don't think about death, whatever that means. Before February 3rd, 59, rock and roll's idea of a loss was Elvis Presley going to the Army or Little Richard announcing he was going to sing only for the Lord. I'm singing for the Lord. John Lennon would later remark that rock and roll died when Elvis went to the Army. Elvis. I thought rock and roll died when Elvis started singing.
Yeah.
On this one, John was wrong. There's a widespread... I've got to blow my nose. Jeez. A widespread popular myth that after... Well, it's bad. You know?
Nose? Your nose blows?
No, it's bad to try to talk with a mouthful of snot. I mean, a noseful or a mouthful of snot. Mouthful would really be bad. There was a widespread popular myth that after Elvis' induction and the Buddy Holly plane crash, the enemies of rock and roll smashed into harmless little pieces. By this myth, traditionalists in the music, entertainment, radio games got together and conspired to replace the wild, raw power of Elvis, Buddy, and Little Richard with the harmless likes of Fabian and Frankie Avalon, pretty boys with minimal talent. Frankie Avalon. What was that movie he was in with Vincent Price about the world was ending and like that? That was fairly entertaining. thus yanking the teeth and bite out of this dangerous, subversive intruder. Without question, there were traditionalists who wanted to see that happen. Even many fans believed rock and roll was another fad like goldfish swallowing, whose inevitable expiration date was coming up fast. They, too, were wrong. The music and the seeds it planted in those 58 to 64 years between Elvis and the Beatles will stand with any 6 years in rock and roll history. Motown started then with artists like Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, and the Temptations. That was Roy Orbison's peak. You had the Beach Boys and the Four Seasons at their best. Phil Spector was producing. Stax and Muscle Shoals were gearing up. The Shirelles were singing. So were Del Shannon. And Arthur Alexander and James Brown and Gene Pitney. What a pity about Gene Pitney. He's dead.
Oh, well.
Isn't he? I think he's dead. Small companies produced hundreds of great singles from Maxine Brown's All in My Mind to Kathy Young's 1,000 Stars to the Caprice classic There's a Cockamoon Out Tonight and the Edsels' immortal Ram-a-Lam-a Ding Dong. All right. I bet you Bowser liked that one. You know Bowser?
Yeah.
Yous could do it sitting down. In the larger picture, the music was only slightly wounded. What the crash did do was take away some of the innocence. The adolescent, this goes on and on. The loss of innocence was the real point of American Pie, the 71 Don McLean ballad that locked in the day the music died phrase to our cultural vocabulary. American, it's almost enough to make me play that 55-minute bit, you know.
O'Neill.
I love eating nuts.
Well, she was just 17. Well, she was almost 17. Well, she was 16 and a half. So with makeup, she looked a lot older. Something in your hair just moved. Listen. You should try right out of secrets. Cause your perspiration smells. Whoa, whoa, don't come closer. When I get old and my wing be over, many years from now. Hey Stu, this is Peter. Just see the way Ringo looked at me. Hey Stu, George just grabbed me and said, I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
Oh, and that's it?
Wow.
Wow. I haven't played that in so long, I forgot that it just disappears.
I don't like that.
That must be from the day the music died.
It did. It just died right there.
Yeah. It says the loss of innocence was the real point of American Pie, the 71 Don McLean ballad that locked in the day the music died phrase to our cultural vocabulary. McLean's massive hit, along with its mildly inside references and quasi-profound imagery. Boy, talk about pseudo-intellectual claptrap. Inside references and quasi-profound imagery. How do you like that for a bunch of swill?
Yeah.
Or as they say in Siberia, for a bunch of navanil.
Is that what they say?
Look it up, you'll find out what that means.
No, thank you.
Schmidt.
What?
Is ultimately most notable for reflecting the fact that a dozen years later, fans still missed and mourned those who were lost. The crash also triggered a discussion somewhat muted with the passage of time over which those men could have given us what they had given us if they had lived. Richardson, the veteran of the group at 23, was a disc jockey and country singer who happened to have a novelty pop hit with Chantilly Lace. Country was his legitimate talent. He probably would have returned there. Valens is the wild card. He stunk. At 17, he'd already written the timeless ballad Donna. Would he have written more? Or was he destined to be a starburst of a teen idol? Either way, he was one of the first Hispanic rock and roll stars. He was no Luis Miguel, I'll tell you that. He was no Ricky Martin, thank God. Hey, Ricky.
You fairy.
Hispanic rhythms have never gotten the credit they deserve for their part in shaping rock and roll, and while Valens wasn't singing hardcore Hispanic music, he was a pioneer whose importance could have easily grown. Holly, again, who knows? His face? No.
What?
You heard what I said.
What,
Scott Shannon, WPLJ program director, morning co-host, and lifelong Buddy Holly fan, says he thinks Holly's future might have been mostly in songwriting and producing. His recording career, Shannon notes, had hit a lull at the time of his death, though It Doesn't Matter Anymore became an ironic posthumous hit. It doesn't matter anymore. Do you remember that? I don't. Well, I guess it doesn't because he's dead, you know.
Doesn't matter anymore.
While Holly was only 22, he'd already begun moving away from the hard rockabilly sound of his earlier days, kind of like the Everly Brothers. Talk about hard. Experimenting with strings and ballads like True Love Ways. But right to the end, he was writing great, crisp songs, Shannon notes, and in many ways, he was a more complete musician than Elvis. Besides the singing, he was a great guitar player and wrote great songs, said Shannon. He was a producer, too. Oh, you're going to die when you hear this. You're going to die a wicked, horrible death. The 1983 movie, Eddie and the Cruisers, had its shadowy lead character, a rock and roll singer quietly trying to arrange musical sessions that would bring black and white performers together in new and different ways. Is that what Eddie and the Cruisers was about? I don't remember that at all.
I
remember
it was about
Doc.
2 hours.
Wow. It's been suggested this notion came from some of what Holly was doing. We'll never find out, of course, because 50 years ago Tuesday, the plane went down. Holly, Valens, and Richardson were part of the Winter Dance Party tour that was doing a whirlwind run of one-nighters through small Midwestern towns, basically to earn a few quick bucks. On the afternoon of February 2nd, while they were all waiting for that night show at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Holly decided he couldn't face one more 300-mile ride on a freezing bus stop to the next stop, Fargo, North Dakota. So he chartered a small plane. Oh, yeah, boy, buddy. Couldn't take the bus, huh? I guess the Lord will teach you a thing or two. He chartered a small plane, figuring that way he'd arrive early enough to get some sleep to do his laundry. The local charter service assigned a flight to 21-year-old Roger Peterson, a pilot who had little experience flying with instruments in the kind of snowy, overcast skies that descended over Iowa that night. Holly was originally going to take the two other members of his band on the plane, guitarist Tommy Alsop and bass player Waylon Jennings. Waylon Jennings! That way they could split the cost, $108 or $36 apiece. But when other performers on the tour heard about the plane, they put in their own bids. Richardson, who was coming down with a cold, asked Jennings if he could take that seat. And Jennings, who didn't mind the bus as much as others, told him, sure, go ahead. Go ahead. That's exactly what he told him. He said, sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you first. You fly, flyboy. Valens, who thought flying on a small plane sounded cool, had a harder time talking somebody out of the last seat. Who was it? Oh, Alsop. Finally, Valens proposed flipping a coin. Alsop agreed. Valens pulled out $50. Alsop flipped it, and Valens called heads, and heads it was. 50-cent piece. That's what his life was worth, 50 cents. How do you like that? Richie Valens was the original 50 cent. If it would have been tails, he's on the bus. How do you like that? Is this some pretty captivating crap or what? Not. You don't like it. You owe an apology to Fred Souter, by the way.
No.
The play. You're evil. You really are. You are such a hard ass.
My best friend for a very long...
He's not your best friend.
All right, like I'll just
He's your best friend?
No. Can I get to the end of the sentence?
Go ahead.
My best friend...
Wait a minute. Can you what?
Get to the end of the sentence.
Go ahead.
Thank you. For many years, for the lion's share of my life, is the ugliest human being that anyone ever saw. It makes Quasimodo look like a fashion plate.
Oh!
All right? It has nothing to do with anything.
Your best friend?
Guys thinking that other guys are ugly. Like, I don't care if my friends think that I'm ugly or handsome.
Oh, I don't either.
Or
I'm not saying that.
So Fred
but ripping
Souter's
a guy
ugly
who's had some horrible accident and disfigured and like that. So you feel bad about it?
No. Do you feel bad about...
A little bit. I feel a little bit bad.
You feel bad about Mark Hamill?
Yeah, I feel bad that he got so ugly, yeah.
See?
He used to be really something.
See
I
how
like
you are?
Mark Hamill. Huh?
See how you are?
Yeah, fag. If you're going to ask me about what I think about guys, how they look, that's going to be from a fag perspective, you know. Mark Hamill used to look really good. Then he had that bad Corvette crash. Oh. And they tried to put the pieces back together again. All the King's horses, it's like the Greg Reed egg, you know. Once he dropped it, they couldn't put the pieces back together again. And then Joe Bell came along and just stepped all over it with his big fat feet. Smashed it. The plane took off about 1 a.m. from the Mason City Airport. The best guess about what happened next is that Peterson realized only after they took off he'd have to fly on instruments. You know, tuba, banjo, guitar. More specifically, he had to fly by a Sperry attitude gyroscope, which displays attitude. Is that attitude, or is it supposed to say... well, that's what it says.
Altitude?
No.
Alticocker?
The opposite of the gyroscopes in which he had trained. If he didn't know that, he would have thought the plane was climbing when it was descending. 8 miles from the airport, the plane crashed into a cornfield. Oh, we're going up. Oh, no, we're going down. We're going down, baby. It hit, bounced about 50 feet, then skidded 500 or so feet into a fence where it broke apart. Richardson, Holly, and Valens were thrown out. Peterson's body remained in the wreckage. It didn't matter. All were almost certainly killed on impact. When there was no word from anyone on the plane by dawn, a search began. Jerry Dwyer, who owned the air service, took off in another plane, retracing Peterson's route. At 9:35 in the a.m., he saw the wreckage. A few days later, another brilliant young rock and roll artist, Eddie Cochran, cut a sentimental farewell song called The Three Stars, which went in part, Look Up in the Sky, Up Toward the North. Ever hear that? No.
No.
There were three new stars brightly shining forth. It was the kind of song that once was instantly written for any famous person who died, proving how close popular music still was in '59 to the old pop era. 14 months later, April 17, 1960, Eddie Cochran was killed in a car crash. He was only 21. The music didn't die then either. Today, the most popular young music fans only have historical knowledge of Buddy Holly or Richie Valens. Maybe they've seen the movies. Maybe they recognize That'll Be the Day, which Holly wrote from a John Wayne line in The Searchers, or La Bamba, which was Valens applying rock and roll to an old sea song. But the three stars mostly are names, or maybe there's voices, and it goes on and on. Thank God it's all over with, you know? Thank the Lord. Thank
Neil, God.
Oh, Neil.
Come one, come all.
Hi, I'm Joey D., formerly of Joey D. and the Starlighters. I'm also founder of the Rock and Roll Rest Home, where we provide care and treatment for many of the rock and roll stars you've loved so much in the past, but whose lives have been destroyed by crooked record companies. Stars like Mr. D. Clark over here. You can plainly see why we need your help. Over here we have Danny Lupitas, who sang rhythm for the Gavons. Every now and then I try to help him out. It's okay, Danny. It's okay. Calm down. I will help you.
I wonder why I love you like I do.
Please show your support by sending your checks to 442 Glenwood Avenue in Surf City. Our email address is brunswick.swan. For more information, just call Beechwood 45789. Thank you.
Remember the other day we were talking about Jewish names?
Yes.
How about Lapidus?
That's right.
You know any goyim named Lapidus?
Nope.
No. I don't think so. If anybody out there is named Lapidus and you're a goy, you better stand up and be counted right now. The nose picker says, I read an interesting solution to jumpstart the economy. There are 40 million people working over the age of 50. Simply give each person $1 million, have them retire. Then 40 million jobs would open immediately. The people over 50 would spend, and the problem solved much less expensive. Over the age of 50. Okay, I'll take my $1 million right now. Thank you. In fact, I'll take it this afternoon with me to Woodbine and triple it. What do you think?
Sounds fine.
Go ahead.
Is what I meant to say.
Oh. So what do you think about old ancient? I mean, talk about obvious. No shame, if that's true, although I have no confirmation about that, about them playing that drop-in.
Right.
So just one isolated facts doesn't affect me.
No.
You know?
No.
What do you think?
People make things up all the time.
No. Our audience would make crap up to stir the pot?
Yeah.
As Joe Rose would say, to stir the pot? To stir it up. Why does he say that?
I don't know. Maybe it's a sports thing.
Mo said I was stirring it up. 298 in the poll. We're going to make 300 this by the time we leave or else. Aren't you proud? This is our second poll of the day. 301. Told you, Mr. Smarty Pants. And 45 people say they ought to give me all the money so I can double it at Woodbine. Get us out of this economic mess, this depression. Speaking of that, here's a long Michael Lewis. I don't know where this is from. Commentary. Commissioners, here's the other side of the stadium giveaway. Where's this from? From the Herald, maybe? I have no idea. Oh, and this was sent to the Mad Dog. Now, what the hell's that all about? Why did I get it?
Happens all the time, doesn't it?
From Tony Perez at letsgofins@hotmail.com to Mad Dog at WQM.com. I don't get it. So this isn't even meant for me. It's for the Mad Dog. Well, I don't want to steal his thunder. Whatever that means.
Go ahead.
Wow. Julio Pasos has got a long, oh, my God. At a fundraising dinner for a school that serves children with learning disabilities, the father of one of the students delivered a speech that would never be forgotten by all who attended. After extolling the school and its dedicated staff, he offered a question. When not interfered with by outside influences, everything nature does is done with perfection. Yet my son, Shay, can't learn things as other children do. He can't understand things as other children do. Where is the natural order of things in my son? The audience was stilled by the query. And it goes on and on and on. This goes on forever. You want to hear it? I sure don't.
No.
Why? Because you're heartless and cruel.
That's right.
God.
I thought you knew that by now.
Well, I've tried to defend you all these years. All these people say that.
Yeah, so?
Heartless and cruel.
Let them. They can.
Go ahead.
And say that.
God. I'm not going to read it. Although it's not nearly as long as the thing about the Marlins of the stadium giveaway. Yeah, everybody's out of work. Everybody's broke. Let's build a millionaire owners of the Marlins stadium. Come on now. Come on. I don't want to say the fix is in, but you know what? The fix is in. Isn't that what Blago said? The fix is in? And you know why we're in such a good mood, by the way? We don't see him anymore. Thank God.
Yeah.
Rain and +8. 46 tomorrow. Rain and 50 on Wednesday. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, happy day. And right now, sunshine and 38. It's a heat wave, man. I don't see any more emails. Aren't you depressed?
No.
You're not?
No, because I'm heartless and cruel.
Yeah, you are heartless and cruel. In fact, I should make you do the last minute and 44 seconds.
Hey.
I should.
Slacker.
Oh. Thanks, by the way, for coming up with that great idea about my taking all week off next week for vacation.
What I'm here for.
Well, I got 7 weeks for crying out loud. I got to start, spreading them out. 1 in February, 3 in March, 4 in April. Well, that's 8. What do you think?
Yeah.
And the audience is starting to like Flea. I'm thinking maybe Flea 2 to 4. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
I'm not trying to interfere with
rock solid
with that, because he's coming up next, by the way. The big old Orlando Wells Aquarius coming up 2 to 4. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of conversation about that Pro Bowl. Oh. George watched that intently. You hung on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. What?
The Pro Bowl. So I'd like touch football, man. Like pansy game. Who the hell wants to see that? Even pansies don't want to see a pansy football game. Oh, but it's all the stars. It sucks. It's a bunch of crap. But I'll bet you that some of the jock sniffers, they watched every second of it. You know why?
Why?
Because it was on. Because it was there. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the... Well, you got lots more. Give me the ball all day and all night. Look at that. ESPN radio from 11 o'clock tonight till 5 in the morning. How come we're not promoting that Jesse Agler early edition show from 5 to 6 in the morning? He's a good guy. And actually belongs on the air. Huh?
Go ahead, promote it.
Well, that's probably the reason why. And our old friend Chris works that show, too. Fat Chris.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are jonesing for his fat, squeaky voice.
It's Dade in Miami town at 560 WQAM.
Bratwurst and sauerkraut.
You fair.
I love a Polish pickle. I'll roll the barrel out. I put on lederhosen and I wear a funny hat. The sound of a brass tuba and an alto clarinet is a sound you won't forget. It's my favorite dance. I'm still lively polka. Fill your beer stein up, sing a lively polka. Everyone loves the polka Tuesday. Oh, that's so very nice.
You fairy. All right.
Bye, bye, bye.